live.
Yo, yo.
Oh, what's good, y'all?
Kenny Stapler and it's Che.
It's your boy Che.
In your eardrums.
We are here.
That's it.
Yeah. Let's see who else gets on here. Everyone slowly coming in here.
Shout out to Roland Dub. Shout out to Berserko Lewis, Drew Williamson. You guys are the first ones on the dance floor.
Vincent Lobstein.
There's Vince. Nug always playing with my emotions. Oh, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm not going to be there. Of course you're going to be here, Vince. We can't do the show without you.
Noe.
What up, Noe? There's Grizz. Okay. It's starting to feel like we can get started now.
All right. Let's do it. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties right off the bat, though.
The whole thing freeze up?
Well, no, it's just that. It's just the intro. What was it they caused that last time? Remember?
You can close OBS and I'll reopen it. Just hit Command Q.
Yeah.
I have to wait for the stream to catch. Just watch that right there.
I say, I want better fucking execution.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. We're going to try this again.
We apologize. We had the stream shut down on us last week. We're hoping that doesn't happen again. OBS, update your software, man. Mac ain't waiting for you. Okay.
All right, let's try this again, y'all.
You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, proud member of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network, companion podcast to PJ4F.com. It's the #1 podcast in Raider Nation. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode brought to you by DC4L Custom Tees. Check them out at DC4LCustomTees.com. It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. What's cracking, Che?
Oh, we already know what's cracking. It's Chella's time, baby.
We'll crack it open.
Let's
then.
crack this open, baby. Let's.
Hope you all enjoyed a full weekend of playoff football. Che, what are you cracking into?
So this today, I had to stop by Bevmo for the first time in weeks, dog. Cause listen, man, we've been crushing them chelas from the tailgate, them leftover chelas from the tailgate. So I had to finally make a pit stop because we ran out of them. Ran out of those delicious brews, man. They served us well though, dog. They served us well. So today I got this delicious brew. This is the Head Full of Dynamite Hazy India Pale Ale.
Damn, these names are getting wild, bro.
I know, right? Well, they're running out of names, man, so they're getting real creative with it. But this comes from Fremont Brewing out of Seattle, Washington. So let me give this a little taste real quick.
Sippy dip. Yeah, some exciting playoff football this weekend. I'm excited to hear about this beer.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's all there, dude. That's exactly what you're looking for as far as the hazies, right? That creaminess, citrusy, a little bit of orange, a little bit of grapefruit, maybe. Some bitterness on the end. Yeah, man, I'm digging it. It's smooth too. It's a real smooth drinker. Let me see what the ABV is here. 6.8 on the ABV.
Well, watch yourself.
Yeah, watch out now.
Head full of dynamite now. If Che's head explodes in the middle of this podcast, it's your fault. It's your fault. I'm drinking fine Alhambra water over here.
There you go.
Yeah, your boy's back on that meal plan. Got a little fluffy over the football season.
I think everybody got a little fluffy, especially with the holidays that just passed, bro.
Yeah, I was fluffy going into the holidays.
So was I, but I mean, hey,
yeah,
a little extra fluff didn't hurt nobody.
A little extra buñuelos
Ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Hey, but we're back, man. Did you enjoy the games this weekend?
Yeah, man. You know what? We were talking about it downstairs right before we came up here, and I was saying these games, I think the cool thing about the games that happened this weekend were they didn't quite play out the way everybody expected them to, right? Some games that we expected to be super close were completely the opposite.
Yeah.
Shout out Titans.
Yeah.
Some games that we thought, oh man, like this is gonna be like pretty controlled or whatever. Got a little shaky to start off things, right? The Texans jump out on the Chiefs 24-0 in the first quarter, and you're like, okay, I didn't see this happening.
Yeah.
You know, but of course, they were able to turn things around, unfortunately, and the Chiefs blew them out.
Well, we'll talk about this. So it's probably a little bit more in the second half, but that's a good way to get it started.
Yeah.
I'll have a big announcement to make before we get everything cracking. The Fan Club Blitz that you may know of, may have listened to on Murph's Man Cave. A great show with our own Tom and Chuck, Splatterhead and Groby. They are now moving their show, both of their shows, the Nation Podcast, which has lived on the Crow's Nest Podcast Network since inception.
Yeah.
The Fan Club Blitz now moves over and joins us. That is now a completely uncensored show.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club, man. And all due respect and all shout outs to Murph's Man Cave. We have supported them. We will continue to support them.
Absolutely.
And so should you. Plenty of content to go around for all of Raider Nation. A lot of hours in your work week, and there's a lot of podcasts to fill those hours up. But now you just have to listen to the Fan Club Blitz in headphones if you're at work, depending on where you work.
Yeah, because firing from the hip, bro.
So it was a mutual decision between them two. There was no love lost there. I think Murph, Chuck had approached Murph. Murph had realized, hey, you guys go be yourself. Chuck was spending an undue amount of time. I think he said it's all fun until you're 45 minutes into censoring your own podcast and you realize you're only 8 minutes into the episode. So they're going to take the restrictor plates off and they're going to run it wide open over here on the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. So you can check them out. We don't have our shit together like Murph does, where they have all of their podcasts under one stream, Murph's Man Cave, which is really nice. Something we're working on over here. But you can find the Fan Club Blitz if you search Fan Club Blitz, and they should be hitting all the major streaming sites within a week or two, I would imagine. Sometimes it takes a few episodes to hit all of those. So stay tuned. The Fan Club Blitz will be showing up as the Crow's Nest Podcast Network thing, and they are going to a big beer event over there on the East Coast.
Yeah, I saw that expo, man. I was like jealous of that, man.
And apparently that's like it really leans into like the football theme too. So it's
cool.
like a beer
That's right
expo
up their alley,
for football
bro.
fans. Yeah,
right up their
great.
alley.
So they got press passes last year, and they were invited back this year. So that's pretty cool. So congratulations, guys.
Hell yeah.
It was good to meet you when I went out there to Jersey. And welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard. And this is great. You made the announcement. If you haven't listened to their last episode, it was hilarious. They're a lot like us on the East Coast. It's like an East Coast version of the Pillaging Podcast, or we're a West Coast version of them. I don't know. But if you like the sensibility you hear on this show, you're going to love that show as well if you haven't checked into it already. But they did make the announcement on their last episode, which is good because I've been dropping the ball the last two episodes. But honestly, I was just waiting. I was waiting for the green light. So I think that's it. You can check out their last episode for more info on that, and obviously just to tune in. You can follow us on Twitter at Pillaging Pod, at Kenny Stapler, at Che_PJ4F, at Kane MT6, and at CNPodNet. Follow me at Kenny Stapler. I usually follow you back.
Yeah. Your boy Bobby too. Shout out to your boy Bobby. Bobby Wasabi 4080, right?
4080. That's right. You know what? Let me just put that in there now. So Bobby couldn't be here today, but you've been seeing a lot of Bobby Wasabi in the Crow's Nest, and you will continue to see a lot of Bobby Wasabi in the Crow's Nest. Absolutely. He's officially a member of this podcast.
That's right.
I will say that.
That's right.
In case you haven't figured it out. He is here. He's here to stay, and we are working. Bobby is working diligently on getting his own show out, and that'll be a Spanish-speaking podcast, all Raiders, and definitely going to bring his brand of humor.
That's what's up.
I'm announcing that on the show to hopefully make him do it soon. And yours truly, I've offered to produce that show and record that show for him right here in the Crow's Nest. So hopefully we'll be seeing that come to fruition sometime this offseason. There's no rush. Hope to get that out to you before the start of next season, though. So, yeah. Merchandise, of course, DC4L Custom Tees we mention all the time. I actually have a T-shirt from DC4L commemorating some of the great moments that the Raiders posted while in Oakland. And I'll give that away if anybody wants to call in and run that 2-minute drill today.
Ooh.
So, matter of fact,
tempting.
I'm gonna turn that do not disturb off right now. But I want you to know that if you call in, if you have to call in and I pick up the phone right now, you're doing the 2-minute drill.
It's 2-minute drill.
I don't care.
Automatic. Like, we're not even going to say hello. It's just going to be dum, 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 immediately.
Yep. From the jump.
You've been warned.
Off top.
You've been warned.
Some dude not watching the live stream right now is like, I should probably call the boys.
Screw.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So we'll give you that shirt. Root, your jersey's not in the mail yet. I worked, my hours of work were outside the post office hours this week. I worked early to late all week long. So I will get that in the mail to you hopefully this week, but it'll get out to you. Trust.
There you go.
And of course, OneNationFanwear.com. Bless up. Prayers go out to Johnny. Going through it right now. I'm not going to say much else besides that. Our boy's going through a lot of adversity right now. So, but he's still slinging that gear. So make sure you check out OneNationFanwear.com, the best independent fan gear in the nation.
Absolutely.
Raider Nation.
Yeah, go help our boy out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go cop that gear because it's fly anyways. Because you want that gear anyways, man.
You want to look nice.
Hell yeah.
Seen Kane's been rocking that Raiders Versace mashup.
Yeah, that's a dope mashup. I need to get that. Those are some dope collab mashups that he's doing right now.
Yeah, Versace.
I'm thinking Versace.
Tonight's show,
Versace.
we got some quick hits for you. We got the Keep It or Cut It segment. That's right. We're going to be going over Raiders free agents, unrestricted free agents coming up here in the offseason, and be taking a look at some of these cap hits and who we might keep and who we might lose and what it's going to cost us if we do. So we'll talk about that. So if you haven't called in yet, you can call in and leave a message on your take of who to keep or cut. Just remember, call in before we get there.
It's trouble, y'all.
I'm going to run you.
It's trouble, y'all. Don't make a fool of yourselves. Just saying.
And, of course, your calls. So without further ado, man, let's get into these quick hits.
Yeah, boy.
Quick hits. Thanks for the donation,
Pete, man.
Right on time.
Damn, Pete.
Dropping it.
Just coming down with the donations, bro.
That's it.
On a weekly basis, bro. We appreciate you.
Damn, Drew's getting out of pocket right now. Can we? I don't know. I don't know what his market value is right now. I don't know. Hey, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Her Gatorade's got a new flavor, so he's worth something. Let's get another quick hit in there. I think Pete deserves his own quick hit.
Yeah, a quick hit.
Raiders drop Oakland from all social media. That's right. If you look on all the Raiders social media right now, it is just the Raiders.
Yeah.
Which is what we will be calling them most of the time.
It's like they tuned into the Pillaging Podcast a couple weeks ago and they heard us saying, like, come on, bro. It ain't going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. It's going to be the Raiders.
Nah, I'm sure they'll switch it over. I think they've come out and said March 18th, officially the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll probably be saying like Vegas Raiders. That rolls off the tongue pretty nice.
That's better.
Yeah. But for right now, it's just the Raiders.
The Raiders, dog.
It always has been just the Raiders. So,
yep.
Like you said, we are pirates in the desert. Okay. All right. But, hey, it is what it is. Raiders.
Yeah.
We're out there. Let's keep it moving, man. Raiders bring back Richie Incognito on a 2-year extension.
Yeah, boy.
Get that money, boy. It's like they were listening to the Pillaging Podcast. Shit, it was like they were listening to every fan. Incognito went from I don't know about that move to a fan favorite this year. True or false?
Absolutely, man. We discussed that. He was one of the guys that we considered to be, what was the award that we gave him? What was the award we gave him? We gave him the not comeback.
Oh,
what was the nesty we awarded Incognito?
Most underrated player.
Most underrated player. Yeah.
Matter of fact, we got a coach. We have a couple more nesties to hand out. We got 2 more nesties to hand out. But before the end of the show, remind me.
There you go.
We got 2 more to hand out.
2 more. Hey, chat, you remind us too.
Yeah.
Sometimes, things get a little hazy over here.
Yeah. A little hazy IPA for sure. So, Rich Incognito, man, 2-year extension. That's great. This guy came from nowhere amidst all the allegations and adversity. Has become a real leader and face for this organization. So that's a pretty cool story. That's just a great story. He's a trailblazer now for everybody that's dealing with that Incognito and your boy Darren Waller. So the Raiders no longer just a catching or collect all for, I guess, players on the fringe, which historically has been the case. We tried doing this with Alden Smith. He couldn't help himself, unfortunately. But now, not only just a sort of a catch-all second chance spot, but a place to just start over and renew yourself. Used to be Bad Boys came to Oakland and kept being Bad Boys. Nowadays in the NFL, they don't let you do that. So come to Oakland and reinvent your image and come out here and play like a Raider, at least between whistles. So that's a cool thing. That's a really good tradition that I'm seeing come back here with the silver and black. I'd like to see that continue moving forward.
Hell yeah.
All right. Raiders signed Denzel Good for one more year. Your boy Denzel Good. What does this mean?
I like that too, man. So he was another guy that I considered underrated and even or most improved, right? Because we were missing our starting guards. To start the season, we didn't have Incognito for the suspension, and we didn't have Gabe Jackson due to injury.
For like 6 weeks.
Yeah, bro. And he was one of the guys that filled in that we were concerned about. And then we saw him play, and we're like, hey, you know what?
It's all good.
It's all good in the hood, son. Good, it's all good in the hood, son. Yo, Good. We were concerned about you last year. We were worried when you would come into the game. But you have shown us that you put in the work, man, because you came back solid this year. And I like that pickup, man. I like the extension. I like that we have him there for at least the time being a backup. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe he eventually replaces one of those guards.
Yeah, could this be the end of days for Gabe Jackson? We'll talk about that a little bit in the next segment. So congratulations to Denzel Good, man. Hey, it's all good.
I like that.
All right. Kawakami fires and Rich Eisen fires right back.
Right back. Right back at your ass.
I like Rich Eisen, bro.
I do too.
I do a lot. We're going to play you a little bit of audio from this just to set it up.
Yeah.
And we talked about this last week. Vic Tafer mentioned on the Athletic podcast that he thought the relationship between Gruden and Mayock was just okay, but noted that Mayock hasn't made any media appearances since the AB debacle and is wondering if there's some sort of tension there in the Raiders front office, and floated, if not, there might be a possibility Mayock doesn't return in 2020. We thought that was bogus. We also did give Tafer credit. I think he's just spitballing on the air and, maybe stirring things up a little bit, but, he didn't really declare that was the case.
Right.
But Kawakami decided to hedge all of his bets and really start to go in on Mayock not making appearances. And as you guys know, Mayock made an appearance on the Rich Eisen show early in the year.
Right.
And I'm going to play this audio. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I will just say, disclaimer, this audio comes from the Rich Eisen show. This is Rich Eisen's independent podcast. This goes out over Bleacher Report Live. It is on Fox Sports Radio. This is not an NFL Network show. That's important for the conversation here, I guess, to say.
Right.
So shout out to Rich Eisen. Rich, you're the man. I'm sorry for repurposing your content, but this is on Twitter, so I'm just going to act like this is public domain right now. We're going to play this because we think it's entertaining, and we think Raider Nation will love it.
Is apparently in the Bay Area after the Raiders season and throughout the season, I guess, Mike Mayock has not spoken to the members of the media there. And Tim Kawakami, who's writing in the Bay Area for years and covering this team, has been very vocal on Twitter today about Mayock not talking. And somebody brought up to him something along the lines of, well, having heard Mayock talk to Rich Eisen, it sounds like he's fine with Gruden in the whole situation, because I guess Tim might have been going back and forth with people speculating why Gruden's not talking, why Mayock's not talking. So somebody mentioned that, having heard Mike being interviewed by me, that it does sound like Mayock is still fine with working with Gruden and there's nothing to hide on that front. Well, Tim responded to that person. Can we put the tweet up on the screen?
Oh, no.
Oh. From Tim Kawakami.
What did he do?
All due respect to Eisen personally.
No.
All due respect to Eisen personally, comma, wait till you hear what's after it. But I don't give a damn what a former NFL Network employee says to a current NFL Network employee when the former employee is a GM and ducking the independent media. Independent media!
I'm going to pause this right here.
Yeah.
So the all due respect line is something that Rich Eisen says a lot on the show, with all due respect.
Yeah.
And the joke is that when you say something, when you say all due respect, when you preface your statement with all due respect to somebody, it means you're about to remove all respect.
Yeah, you're
and
about
completely disrespect that
You're
person.
about to disrespect the shit out of them, dog.
So he had pitched this, I believe, to, I think his name's Jeff Green. He's on the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
And he's also on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He plays Larry's manager, one of my favorite shows on that show.
Yeah.
And they pitched at it as, what if there was an episode where, people keep insulting Larry and we're using the term with all due respect.
With all due respect, and then respect the crap out of him.
Yeah. So Tim Kawakami kind of drops that Easter egg in this comment to Eisen. And shout out, by the way, to Oneida415, Raider fan, I believe Raider fan, I'm assuming Raider fan, Tim is subtweeting actually in this.
Yeah.
You've earned your Raider stripes. You've probably now been blocked by Tim Kawakami.
And we will probably follow up after this show. I'm just saying.
So let's let Eisen continue here, because this is where it gets good.
Yeah.
Tim,
That sounds pretty disrespectful.
you can't all due respect me.
Oh, man.
I all due respect you. I invented all due respect. And with all due respect, am I not a member of the independent media sitting here on the Rich Eisen show? Because this is where I interviewed Mike. Not on the NFL Network, which is, I guess, non-independent media.
Fact.
But I can't talk about stuff like refs blowing games or coaches deserving the heat.
Damn. Those pregnant pauses.
I cannot be, with all due respect.
Slow down just a little bit.
Tim Kawakami of The Athletic.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
With all due respect, Tim,
Oh,
you
man.
stink.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. You may not all due respect me. I all due respect you.
That was a great soundbite there from Eisen. That might actually stay living on our show for a while.
Yeah.
With all due respect, Tim Kawakami, log out, bro.
Hey, chill.
Take a break.
Chill out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get too into your feelings, dog.
He's like
Just saying.
He's like chief editor over there for The Athletic too.
How is it that you're a chief editor for The Athletic that writes about the Raiders, but you block pretty much every Raider fan that exists on social media?
Why? What makes you think we want to read your article?
Come on,
bro?
dog. Come on, dog. You're gonna block the people that you're writing for? Like, come on, dog. Come on.
Tim's pretty bad. I mean, I've stuck up for Tim in the past. I do like that he just says what he wants. I like Tim Cow. I like all the smoke. I particularly liked it when he blew the top off the whole Jed York Harbaugh situation.
There you go.
Tim Kawakami pretty much crushed the Niners organization there for a few years. When that plane was already like headed down,
Yeah.
like Tim launched the final attack and sent them into a tailspin.
Them dirty ass shots at the end. It's like, yeah, I see you falling to the floor. Your knee's about to hit the canvas, but I'm gonna give you one more uppercut.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
That's it. Hey, before we move into this next segment, let's go. A few nesties from last week that we left out. So
The Nesties.
we did not give out the best commenter of the year
Oh,
on the YouTube chat,
oh man.
but I want to give it to somebody who's in here every week.
There you go.
We'll put some nominees out there. How about that?
Look at the chat right now, bro, and you see who's usually here. You know, our boy David Marks is up in the chat. Vincent, Raider Nugs in the chat. Grizz is in the chat. Pete's in the chat. Your boy Kane's in the chat, but your boy Kane can't win it because, he's a member of the crew.
He's on the team.
Sean Athletics. These are all the norms, man.
Now, I really wanted to give this to Pete, but we gave him caller of the year.
Yeah, we gave him caller of the year, so we got to give it to somebody else. It's only fair. Rolling Dubs, Raider Roo.
Tell me if you disagree with me on this, Che, but I really want to give this award to our very own Raider Nug, Vincent Lobstein.
I don't disagree with that, though.
He's on here every single week.
Every week, though.
Every single week.
Every week, dog. Every week, without fail. And he's He's usually one of the guys that'll be on the chat first too. Be like, yo, I'm first. You know.
Yeah.
So a lot of our listeners like to be the first one on the chat and drop. I was here first.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Vincent, you deserve this, man. You've been riding with us for a very, very long time. Your sense of humor is second to none. Your punctuality is top notch, and your loyalty is not to be questioned. Vincent, you deserve this Nesty Award.
Nesty.
Congratulations.
It's Mr. Nesty time.
All right.
Nesty time. That was good. That was a good gift right there.
Vincent, you're in the chat right now. If you have any words, please leave them in the chat, and I will read them out loud to our audience. I got one more award to give out. We have a website, pillagingjustforfun.com, pillagingpodcast.com, pj4f.com. It's all the same website. I own many domains. I'm a domain hoarder. Call me Mark Davis. Call me Shark Davis. Call me Dark Mavis. I don't care what you want to call me.
Yeah, call. What'd you say the other? Beige Vader?
You can't call me that.
Yeah.
Don't bring that back. Bro, don't bring that back.
Oh, man. That shit had me laughing, bro.
But on this website, occasionally we have some written content. I used to write myself, and that's kind of slowed down, really focused mostly on work and the podcast now. But there's a gentleman who has been holding it down for some time with our written content. He does something every year called the Playoff Pontificator, which is very difficult to do.
That's right.
It's involves much trigonometry and calculus and complex mathematical equations, the likes of which I cannot fathom.
Comprehend.
Head full of dynamite when I'm reading that. But this guy's been holding it down. He actually wrote a novel, which he completed this year. He's been posting some links to the first few chapters on our website as well.
That's what's up.
As additional content. But this award goes to Tuck Ruleful Joe. You deserve this award 100%.
Yeah.
You're a great writer. You're a smart man. And you've been holding us down with some additional content over there on pj4f.com. So come on down and accept your award, the 2019 Nesty's first Best Written Content Provider of the Year.
Yeah, boy.
Tuck. That's it, bro.
Tuck Rufu.
Yeah. It was cool meeting you, man. It was good to meet you, too. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. You know, if we had some more pillaging chat members up in the live chat here, that would be real nice.
Oh, yeah, that would be dope.
Real nice, you know. But
and they would be wrecking shit up in the chat, too, man. There's some hot takes over at PJ4F. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Some hot takes.
Although a lot of those guys, it quiets down around this time. It's their bedtime. Hit that Caro's early bird.
And they got to hit that early bedtime, man.
It's Caro's early bird. Be back in time for Matlock and then hit the sack. You know?
They get that early bird special. They get home, catch that episode of Matlock or Golden Girls.
Yep.
And then they get in the hay, bro. 'Cause, you gotta have that morning.
And that's no cap, man.
Morning breakfast, bro.
I'm a big fan of Andy Griffith, bro.
Hey,
Big fan.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at them, bro.
Yeah. It's time to get into this discussion. We have no silver and black facts in the offseason, so we'll be filling in that segment with some new stuff. We're going to be bringing some ramblers in this segment, too. Not this week, but going forward. We do have a soft partnership with the Raider Ramble. Make sure you check out RaiderRamble.com and follow them. Carlos and Mario doing a lot over there to bring you a lot of great content. They have a pretty good stable of writers as well. We've had several on the show. We got to get Ray back on here. Ray's a fun guy to talk to.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Well, this is the time of the year where we try to bring you the guests because there really ain't a whole lot of shit going on, right? So we we got to talk to somebody. We got to keep you guys entertained at least, you know. So we're gonna do our best to get your boy Kenny's always putting in work, trying to get in some of the well-known writers, especially around the area, right? And then who knows? Maybe we get some other people in here.
Yeah, we get some more former players back in here.
Yeah.
Maybe we get Fu back on. It'd be good to catch up with him. It's been a couple years.
That would be good.
It'd be nice to talk to I'm blanking right now. I'm not even going to say it because I'm having a brain fart.
There you go, brain fart.
John Kingdon, my bad.
It happens.
My bad. We got to get John back in here, too. I'll be texting with John every once in a while just to kind of get his feedback on the team. he's just as frustrated, if not more so, than most Raider fans. So, being the right-hand man, Al Davis, all these years, I can imagine. Triggered. You're triggered. So let's go. The 2020 Raiders free agents and potential cuts. So let's take a look really quick. What do you want to tackle first, man?
You talking about free agents or potential cuts?
Potential cuts.
I say let's see who's the potential cut. Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it.
Well,
let's get into this.
Looking at some of these dead cap hits.
Yeah, let's get into this stuff.
Trent Brown is here to stay for at least one more season.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to count, I think,
He ain't going nowhere.
21 mil against the cap next year, if I'm reading this right on Spot Track.
Now, when you see the clips of him manhandling your boy over there at 99 from the Texans, when he's manhandling J.J. Watt the way he did in that game, man, you see him tossing J.J. Watt, just throwing him to the ground. That guy, he ain't going nowhere, dog. Let me just tell you that. Let me just say, as long as they can re-sign him and he wants to re-sign, they're gonna re-sign that guy.
Yeah.
That's a keeper right there, bro.
So Trent's
a man.
Trent's definitely not a cut. He's going to cost way too much to cut, as it were. I know there's a lot of controversy there. He's slated to hit 21.5 next year, and so is your boy Derek Carr. By the way, Vince says he's just glad to be a part of the crew. He doesn't miss a week, even if he's at work. That's coach speak for hell yeah, brother. So, and that's right. You know, Vince does watch at work, so it's another good reason he's here by any means. So again, congratulations on your Nesty Award, bruh.
Yeah.
We'll see if you can reclaim it again next year. Now that you guys know that you're contending for an award in this chat, give it your best all season, you know. Next on this list is Derek Carr. Again, he's a dead cap hit of $5 million. Now, he's not a cut. You've heard me talk about it. We are very much frustrated with Derek Carr. Am I willing to ride with him another season? I'm a fan. I mean, what the hell can I do? I don't make these decisions. If they bring him back, hey, I'm going to cheer for the dude. Hopefully this quote unquote fresh air in Vegas, which by the way is one of the highest air pollution regions in America.
Not to mention all the toxins that are in the ground out there from all the fucking bombs that were blown up for years.
Not to mention you could smoke inside public buildings. You know, so we'll see. I mean, who knows? We do know you can make excuses for him. The line played well from this year, but he was devoid of receivers, but he did have a run game. So really running out of excuses, Derek Carr. If the organization decides to roll with you one more year, I understand that. But what I am saying is I think the Raiders do draft quarterback this year. There's just too many, and we got the picks and we got the collateral to go for it and do it. But at $5 million, he's a potential cut. But if we were to trade Derek Carr, Che, what would you like to get for Derek realistically?
Well, that's a tough call, right? Because you know what? It's funny because I think Raider fans are the hardest critics of the Raiders. We have a lot of haters. We have a lot of haters from other teams. They just like to talk crap. But Raiders fans by far analyze this team more than anybody, right? And so we're very critical of our players, and I think that the amount of people, especially in the Raiders Twitter, right, that are out there criticizing Carr, it's because they're paying attention to everything that he does, right? And we're part of that crew. So we kind of have this thing like, well, I don't know if we can get, I don't know how successful we would be if we traded him, right? But I think maybe there's potential there. Maybe there is potential to receive something above a third-round draft pick, as your boy Kenny was like, the third and the fifth round draft pick. We're gonna trade him to your team for a third and a fifth.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's potential for him to get a little bit more draft capital than we maybe assume he would. But that being said,
is he worth a first?
Is he worth a first? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, no. And that's no hate on you. No hate on you, Carr. It's just based off of what we've been criticizing you about. Okay.
First of all, just principle, you're a quarterback, and if you're worth a first round pick in a trade, why are we trading you?
Right.
Unless you got somebody bona fide
Absolutely.
behind you,
Exactly.
which we do not have. So based on principle, no, you're not. You're probably not going to get a first one.
No.
Do you think he fetches a second round pick in a trade? If
I
that
mean,
would happen,
I think there's a possibility. I think I wouldn't be shocked if you could get a second round pick for Carr, just because one, he was a second round pick, right? And two, there's a lot of teams in desperation for a quarterback. And there's only so many quarterbacks that are going to be drafted this year, bro. So,
and you know what? Several of these teams have been trying
Yeah.
for years to draft a quarterback, and may just throw their hands up and say, let's just go after somebody that's been here a while,
Right.
an NFL caliber, a pro.
Right.
Let's just start with that and see what happens.
And the other thing you got to look at is, as the Carr stands, or the Kardashians, as we've been calling them of late, would remind you is of his stats, right? His percentage, his completion percentage, his rating, his QB rating, whatnot.
Look, I've been saying this.
That could go some ways with a potential trade partner.
I've been saying this all week. Football's not played on spreadsheets.
You're right.
It's played on the gridiron. You have to watch the game on the gridiron. I'd actually retweeted Carr Film, and I made that comment.
I saw that.
If you guys don't follow Carr Film, whether you support Carr or not, it's good to see both sides of the story.
Absolutely.
I retweeted with that quote. I said, football's not played on spreadsheets. And he was, he kind of like fired back at me. And I was like, no, bro, I'm on your side. I'm trying to say, like, watch the clip, say, this guy's putting up. This is what you want to look at. And look, I'm not stupid. You don't cut a guy like Derek Carr. Derek Carr has given us a lot of memories with this team. He has fought hard at times down the stretch with this team. But, we've seen a lot of things that have left us frustrated and wanting more. So I think that's why this conversation's happening. Grizz says he's going on a Carr hiatus until an official announcement is made, and I don't disagree with that. We've sort of beat this dead horse enough over the last couple of weeks. This is really just coming up inside of a different conversation.
Right.
But I think if this team does move on from Carr, it's in the form of a trade, which is probably somewhat unlikely unless what Che is saying, one of these QB-thirsty teams who, honestly, also sitting pretty nice in terms of the draft. If you're that thirsty, chances are you're in the top 5 for draft picks. So
Right. Well, and you got to look at it. There's a lot of teams that have gone out and said that they're going to stick with their quarterbacks, right? Even though a lot of people are kind of left scratching their heads, kind of like, well, really? You're going to stick it out with that guy? We might be one of those teams. Right? It's very, very realistic that Carr comes back. There is no trade. The Raiders don't draft a quarterback, and Carr is the starting quarterback going into Vegas. And if that's the case, we're going to be right back on, okay, Carr, let's get it done, man. Help us win. But you got teams like the Bears rolling. They've already gone out and said, we're rolling with Trubisky next year, right? And why wouldn't they? They're not paying him very much. He's still on his rookie contract, right? And they're hoping that he could pan out, although I don't see it happening. I think he's going to be more of the same. But a team like that says, okay, well, we're going to roll with this guy, but maybe it'd be nice to put in another veteran behind him, somebody that's maybe showed a little bit more talent at times, and maybe he can, overthrow the throne, I guess, right? Take over the position in camp battles. Mm-hmm. And Carr, I could see Carr beating out Trubisky in Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. So there's potential teams. That's just one example that might want to add another veteran to their team and say, like, well, fight it out. Yeah, we said we're going to roll with this guy, but come in and fight it out. The very same thing can be said for us. Maybe they say, okay, we're going to roll with Carr, but let's bring in another veteran that maybe has shown some potential at times, and maybe they just haven't been in the right situation. You're looking at Ryan Tannehill, bro, with the Tennessee Titans. Okay, he was brought in to be that guy. Be the guy that's like, okay, we just want a veteran to back up Mariota and maybe push him. And then Mariota just craps out. Now this guy has this team on the verge of a Super Bowl berth.
Oh, Ryan Fitzpatrick has entered the chat.
Oh. Well, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about Fitzmagic.
Matt Schaub has entered the chat.
I think that guy got some balls. I'll say that.
He does.
I say that.
I like Fitzpatrick.
I think Fitzpatrick got some balls, but I think the talent eludes him.
Yeah.
The actual talent to be able to get there, I think he's got the balls. He's got the fucking the push to be that guy, but he just his physical attributes just don't allow him to.
No.
Yeah.
I'd still rather roll with Derek Carr. So,
Hell yeah.
It's Hardcore Raiders saying in the chat right now, definitely Miami would be probably the most likely trade partner right there if that were to happen. But I don't really see it happening. I think if you really sit down and you look at all of the avenues and the possibilities, the most likely situation is Derek Carr does return to the Raiders in 2020. But I will be frustrated if we don't draft a quarterback and start grooming that guy now. So
At least take a shot, man. Right? You gotta at least take a shot, and like you said, put some fire under his ass. If anything, at least it gets Carr's attention and says, like, we're not completely content with you. You gotta show us more.
yeah.
Right? And maybe that's what gets him over the hump.
A lot as we talk about these draft picks and whatnot right now, the chat is going off about we need linebackers and wide receivers. Tell me a year that Raider Nation hasn't been clamoring for a linebacker, and tell me a year where the Raiders have responded by drafting a linebacker in the first round.
If you've tuned into this show on draft weekend, the last 2-3 seasons, bro, you've heard me and Kenny sit here and say, like, I really like this linebacker out of such and such. Oh, if we could get that, if this guy drops, if his stock drops, and the Raiders got to get this guy.
That would be in
Never happened.
That would be that's like part of a YouTube montage. Shit, Raider fans say really need to get a linebacker in the first round this year. That would be cut in multiple times. Next on this list is Rodney Hudson. He's not going anywhere. Let's just move right past that right now. Interesting one right here is LaMarcus Joyner. He's an $8 million cap hit if we were to cut Joyner. That's too much.
That's a little
of a
steep.
hit.
That's a little steep to me.
You're not going to absorb that. I think what they're going to do is, and hopefully, and a lot of Raider fans asking for this too, let's get some more defense in this year's draft. Look, we got some nice pieces in last year's draft, to be honest. They weren't at the top, but you did get Max Crosby. You did get Cleveland Farrell at the top. You did get Jonathan Abram near the top. You did get Trayvon Mullen. You did get Isaiah Johnson. You did get a lot of young defensive talent in last year's draft. So I want to stop hearing the conversation that we completely ignored defense last year. I don't know what you guys were watching. Got a lot of nice pieces in last year's draft. I think we will continue to address that. And PG is a type of guy that he'll dumpster dive for a linebacker. So, but what is missing from PG's defense, kind of on a tangent here, PG likes a lot of those really exotic, awkward blitzes, really changing it up on you week to week, drive to drive series. And he does not have a single linebacker that is a blitzing threat right now.
Right.
So I would imagine they keep Joyner and, they move him around and experiment with him a little bit more next season. But again, he's a little bit like, you leave these corners out there to dry.
Yeah.
For that long, it's going to be trouble. And Joyner was frequently out of place this year. And I think missing Vontaze Burfict had a lot to do with a lot of folks being out of place this year. But, Joyner likely back next year. Probably not a cut. Agree? Disagree?
No, I agree. I think the word has been that, at least circulating, that Joyner will return, and they're looking to make him a safety again, right? Put him in the backfield and let him kind of, help out where our corners maybe fall short.
Yeah.
Maybe he's better served that way because he just did not perform the way we expected him to in the slot. We were very high on him coming in and expected him to be that guy to be able to shut down the slot. It just didn't turn out this year.
Yeah, it didn't. And honestly, most of his success in L.A. came from the free safety position, playing downhill, moving down to the nickel when needed, and to pick up tight ends, whatnot like that. So let's see LaMarcus Joyner get a fresh start and a new look next year, maybe move him back to his comfort zone a little bit. Tyrell Williams, looking like no dead money. Well, Tyrell Williams, that was a 1-year deal, correct, for him? $14 million? Was that what that was?
Was that a 1-year deal?
Let's see here.
I don't know if that was a 1-year deal. I thought it was a couple. I thought it was at least a 2 or 3 year deal.
Yeah, you're right. It's a 2-year deal. So no cap hit on Williams, though, moving forward. What do you think they do with Tyrell?
I think they keep him, bro.
Hurt all year?
Yeah, I think if you look at the way he started off the season, he was one of our better receivers to begin with, and then the injury happened, and that's where he kind of started to fall off, right? Mm-hmm. I think he is what we expected him to be. He is a good, solid number 2. We just don't have a number 1.
Yeah.
So why would you get rid of a number 2 when you drafted him to be a number 2?
He started off the year real promising, too.
You signed him to be a number 2, not drafted him. You signed him to be a number 2 receiver on the team, not to be the number 1. And he actually performed for you in a lot of games as the number 1. You know what I mean?
And he struggled with plantar fasciitis for more than half the season, it seems like. I don't know if you guys have ever suffered from that. I have, as a former runner. It sucks. It hurts. And it's an injury that could really just come out of nowhere, depending on how you're running, how often you're running, what kind of shoes you're using, what surfaces you're running on. This is like a wear and tear type injury that can just happen to anybody really at any time. And the only cure for this injury is just staying off your foot.
It's rest.
During an NFL season, frankly, that's just not going to happen. Now, when the rest of your complement of wide receivers look like, Zay Jones and what have you, and those cast of characters, and no disrespect to them, they're not even number 2s, to be honest with you. Right. So, give it up to Tyrell for grimacing and fighting through this season, doing as much as he could. So Tyrell will be back next year, and I feel good about that. I feel like we got somebody there. Just got to get someone on the other side of him. Yeah. Gabe Jackson next on the list. Now, this is an interesting one because Gabe's not going to cost this team anything to cut. He could be traded. He's due about $9.5 million next year. You just extended Denzel Good only for 1 year,
right?
So that would leave you a little bit thin. You would owe Denzel a good chunk of money if he jumps into the starting role next year and shows out. Chances are, if that's happening and Gabe isn't here, Denzel gets extended fairly quickly before this becomes an issue again, because we need our guards, we need our protection, whether it's for Carr or whatever young blood that they bring in behind Carr. You want that insurance in front of you.
How many years are left on Gabe? Because he was just extended not that long ago, right?
Yeah, that's true. So let's take a look at that right now. I'm sure Grizz has the answer for us in like 3 seconds before I can even look it up. So he's here until 2022. So in 2023, he's an unrestricted free agent. So we're actually on the backside of his contract. He's due 9.6 this year, 9.6 next year, and then 9.6 the following year. And that's all with workout bonuses. So we're basically over the hump there. So, and there's no dead cap from here going forward. So we'll see. I mean, the Raiders are sitting pretty. I think we're due. I've seen numbers ranging from $62 to $68 million in cap space. Right. Gabe has had a hard time staying healthy, but to be fair, I think most offensive linemen struggle with their health.
And it's a tough job. And once you get leg injuries at that size, man, you're talking about that are 300 plus pounds. You got to carry around a lot of weight as it is, and you get a leg injury, that shit lingers, man. Like, it's not easy. You get an injury of my size, it lingers for a while. So a guy that has to carry around that much weight, it's a little bit more difficult. So I'm not mad at the guy. If you watch a game, you see almost on a weekly basis that offensive linemen get fallen on, like people fall up on their ankles, on the back of their legs, and these guys got to tough it out, and they got to get up, and most of the times they just go right back. Even though they get up a little slow, they just go right back to their job. So it's hard to find tough linemen like the ones we got. Gabe Jackson is one of those dudes. He's a nasty.
Yeah.
He's a nasty mofo. You know what?
Nasty.
When he's buck nasty, bro. No, when he gets out on the field, the way he plays, he just plays with anger, bro.
Violent.
I love the way Gabe plays. When he's healthy, there's no other guy that I would want in that right guard position, because the way he just demolishes people.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to pancake every guy, every down.
All the time.
All game long, bro. Every time, bro. So that's the kind of guy you want on your team. Mm-hmm. So listen, I'm a fan of Gabe Jackson. So the last thing I would want to see is him leave. But I also understand it is a business. So if you can save yourself some cash, like we said, you just extended Good. Who knows what you do with the other backups if you're looking to maybe extend them too. But we need depth at the offensive line anyway. So, that doesn't necessarily mean that Gabe's cuttable. It might just be like,
I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I think you keep Gabe there. I think Denzel getting re-signed, extended for 1 year. If Denzel's the man moving forward and you have plans to cut ties with Gabe, you extend good for 3 years, 2 years, at least 2
Right.
years, not 1 year. So I think what they see is Denzel is valuable depth
There's
on the offensive
potential.
line.
I think they see potential for him to eventually be that guy, but they're not completely sold off of just 1 year of production.
And with the situation like we had starting last year, starting this last season, and a situation a lot of teams get in with the offensive lineman going down, because we just talked about it. It's the most battered and bruised up position in the NFL. These are the guys that really protect the dudes that make a lot of money. And finding a guard in the NFL it's no easy task, and especially coming out of a draft, no easy task. It takes a few years to get those guys up to speed. Gabe Jackson will be on the offensive line next year. I see him on a lot of surprise cuts list, and I know every year we got to write those articles. Who's the surprise cuts, and he's sort of the sexy name to put on there, because looking at the dead cap, he's the one that stands out. Here's a guy that's making, nearly $10 million, not going to cost you anything to get rid of. That would definitely be a surprise cut. It would be a money-saving maneuver. But when you're sitting at 62 to 68 million free and clear into the cap, is this a necessary move? I don't think that it is.
No, and you know what? Last year we had a similar situation with KO, right? But in KO's situation, we had seen some fall off.
He never got right.
He had gotten injured, and he just wasn't the same KO that we
Lost
had
weight.
seen. Right, he lost weight. He wasn't maybe as big of a mauler as we were used to seeing him. Right, remember him and Gabe had a competition basically to see who's taking people down to the ground the most. Right, so we didn't see him come back to full strength, and we didn't see that mauler, that guy that was just destroying guys in 2016. We didn't see that no more. So it made it more of a possibility for KO to get released, to get let go of.
Yeah.
But Gabe Jackson, I think that's a dude that you keep around for as long as possible, because I mean he's a guy we drafted. Gabe's a guy that we drafted, so we know he's got youth on his side. He's been injured, here and there, but this is probably the season that he's been injured the longest, right? This is I don't remember him missing this many games prior to this. Am I wrong about that?
No, not really. He's had injury before.
So
but
you
this
got
is definitely his longest stretch.
Yeah, so you got to give him an opportunity to get back to full strength, and then you wait to see what he looks like coming into next season. You say, is he the guy that we remember? If he's out there mauling people, taking people to pancaking motherfuckers, Gabe Jackson, we're keeping you. We're gonna ride with you for the next few years.
They're saying we maybe have some audio issues on the other end there. I'm not sure what's going on. Sounds good over here in our headphones, but they're saying my audio sounds a little strange. So I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll check into it.
Sensitive. Maybe is it kind of getting a little, when we hitting too high of high notes or something? Is it getting a little blurry when we get loud or what?
I don't know. My audio looks good over here. I can kind of turn down the feed to the stream a little bit. Maybe that's it. Maybe we're just peeking out a little bit. I don't know. But
I don't see any peaks.
I backed off a little
Either
bit.
of us, man.
Let me know. Keep me updated. Let's keep going through this list.
Sounds good.
I said I sound like Ultron. I don't know who Ultron is. Just echoing a bit, a little reverb. I don't have any reverb on my channel, so I'm not sure what's going on there. You know what it is?
Maybe a little.
My headphones are a little loud. You might be hearing my headphones bleed into my mic a little bit, so let's back off on that. I like my headphones nice and hot. So those two, those might be.
Maybe this is a.
Find out which ones those are, and then maybe just unplug those. We got extra headphones. There's audio flying all around this studio, so I turned down my headphones. That's possibly what it was. Let's keep moving down this list a little bit here. Darren Waller, hey man, your boy Darren Waller ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you that right now.
Hell no, dog. Come on now. That I think Darren Waller has earned his stay, for sure.
Yeah, he's locked up through 2024.
Yeah, he's the man, bro. They just extended him this season. He ain't going nowhere. Come on. You extend somebody in the middle of the season, it's because you're like, I better get this guy before it's too late. Like, I better extend him before it's too late.
Here we go. Here's the guy, Tyre Whitehead. He's a $1 million cap hit if we lose him, 7.2 if we keep him on board. Tyre Whitehead, goodbye. Sorry, bud, but you got to go. And I'm looking at the rest of this list here. Colton Miller, he's not going nowhere.
Nope.
You got Jacobs, Abrams, Eric Harris. There's no dead cap. He's only costing $2.5 million against Derek Carrier. Same thing. Costs us about $2 million. Then you got a bunch of, the young bucks. Zay Jones, I mean, hopefully we're not in a position where we got to keep Zay Jones. No cap Zay, but we need more help than what you can provide right now, if that makes sense.
Right.
In a loaded wide receiver core, you keep a guy like Zay, but not where we're at right now. So who knows? Arden Key, interesting there. Again, he's still on his rookie contract, so he's not hurting us at all. Markel Lee still under $1 million. How many years does Markel have on his contract, though? That's what I want to know. So he's a free agent in 2021. We got Markel for one more year. I'd like to see Markel catch on, man. I'd like to see him finish out a season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the question to me, the one that pops into the couple of names that you said were Key and Harris that kind of catch my attention.
And bring Harris back.
And
bro.
the reason why Harris, not because I wouldn't like to see Harris back, because I love that guy, dude. I love the style of player that he is. I love that he's just kind of like I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna give him my all. I'm always gonna put in the work. And his story of coming from, the CFL and all that good stuff, like, you just tell this guy he just no quit in him. So you want guys like that on your team for sure. But now with this idea that we're going to be putting, your boy at free safety, Joyner going to free safety, and you got Abram coming back from injury. You still got KJ up in the air. What's going to happen with KJ? Maybe now that safety position starts to get a little crowded, right?
Yeah.
That's the only question that I have about it is, who do they decide maybe you're expendable?
I think Eric Harris has been one of the most solid, consistent players in our defense.
He has, absolutely. He has, absolutely. But it still begs the question, right? Yeah. I mean, I think you got to think about it. You got to be like, well, which one of these guys? If we're saying Joyner go to free safety, and we envision Joyner being the starting free safety, because you don't pay that guy that much money to be a backup free safety.
No, you don't.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to let him switch positions, you're going to say go from the slot to free safety. You're going to be paying him that much money. You intend for him to be the starting free safety. So now what do? You got Abram, you got KJ, you got Harris.
Well, you can justify paying Joyner that kind of money if you're using him as a multi-purpose defensive back,
right,
to do a lot of specialty things. KJ's definitely a huge question mark. Eric Harris would be solid in rotation and allow you to be more situational with KJ, but like you're saying, at what cost? KJ's due a new contract.
Right.
If he's only going to be playing as a missile and in rundowns, what kind of money are you willing to pay for that?
Right.
Or do you take that somewhere else? A lot of talk right now in the chat about the linebacker positions, kind of a debate about Tyre Whitehead. Look, Whitehead is okay. He's a tackling machine, but he's definitely not a middle linebacker, that's for sure. We saw him exposed when Vontaze Burfict was gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Whitehead in rotation, possibly. Markel Lee comes back. I'd love to see Jordan come back. I'd love to see Compton come back. I think those guys fought hard down the stretch, but I'd like to be in a position where we don't need a guy like Tyre Whitehead. Tyre Whitehead is a position that we can upgrade, and we just have to fill a middle linebacker position depending on what happens with Vontaze Burfict, who, as we're going to get into, is an unrestricted free agent here in the offseason. So there's a lot of question marks around the linebacker position.
Absolutely.
A lot. I mean, completely. We need to completely be revamped there. Some people are asking about Daryl Worley. Look, man, I'm not a Daryl Worley fan. American Ninja Worley, as I was calling him this year. By the way, let me know how my audio is, guys. We have adjusted. Let me know if that worked. If not, we'll fix it over the break. But let me know. So Worley and KJ definitely question marks in the backfield there. Would you? All right. So before we move on from the safety, would you rather keep KJ or Eric Harris? You're GM.
I mean, that's tough, bro. That's tough. Yeah, I think you're going to come out of pocket a lot more for KJ, right? But we've also been on KJ's side. We've always been like, bring KJ back, right? We've said that. We've gone out on the air and said, bring KJ back. We like KJ. We think he showed some progress this season. And we saw the fall off when he actually was gone. When he got injured, we saw the fall off from the defense, right? So, yeah, that's a tough call, dog, because I like I said, Eric Harris is one of those guys that's just got grit to him There's no give in him. There's no give up in him. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna give you his all every single down.
I think as a business decision, Eric Harris is the keeper. He's not going to cost you as much.
Absolutely.
And he can play. He's more versatile than KJ.
Absolutely.
If we re-sign KJ, if we extend KJ here in the offseason, I will wear every single Carl
KJ
Joseph
jerseys that you have.
Yeah. I almost said Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson.
That's what you heard me pause. Sorry.
The Suns, bro. Isn't he is he now mayor somewhere? Isn't he mayor somewhere? I thought he was mayor somewhere.
Yeah, he is.
Kevin Johnson's mayor of Sacramento, right?
Yeah, I got to rap for him. It was pretty cool.
No shit. That's dope.
Yeah, so they're saying my audio is still messed up, which is really odd. Anyways, Daryl Worley, everyone's screaming for Daryl Worley needs to go. Look, Daryl Worley's an unrestricted free agent. If he wants to go, he can go. That's not a cut situation right there. That's a do we bring him back situation, which we will visit after the break here. But I think that's a good conversation to have. And that mic's turned off.
It's off?
Yeah,
Okay.
that mic's off. So yeah, interesting stuff there. Interesting stuff. I think we pretty much covered most of these keeper cuts. You got Mo Hurst again. He's not costing us a dime. All these other guys here are pretty much up for grabs. Anybody in the wide receiver core, it's up for grabs. You know, I'd like to see a whole new wide receiver core again. We're gonna flip that whole.
I mean,
squad.
the only two that stick are Renfro
and Williams.
And Williams.
Yeah.
Other than that, they can all be changed, bro.
Yeah, if your name's not Hunter Renfro or Tyrell Williams, time to start working on that resume. Yeah.
And as far as Arden Key goes, let me just say one thing about Arden Key, because I think you expect him to stick around because he isn't costing us much money. He's still working off of his rookie contract, and we don't really need him to be the starting end anymore. He's a backup now.
Yeah.
With Max and Farrell, you don't need him to be the guy that we envision. Maybe we envision him becoming like a sack guy, like the third down pressure guy, right? We don't really need him to be that guy anymore. We just need him to be depth.
Yeah,
You know what I
outside linebacker, moving back. Maybe he's better in coverage. He's definitely got speed.
Yeah.
So it's time to try Arden Key somewhere else. And if he can't stay healthy, I think this is the last year for Arden Key.
Well, I think the key for him is health and also size, because the goal was for him to put on size this offseason, and he didn't quite put on as much as the coaching staff wanted. I think that was probably number one strike against him going into the season, was like, where's the weight, bro? Like, what? We don't see no size. We didn't see you pack on any size muscle wise. You know, maybe you ate a couple, maybe you ate a couple Big Macs before you weighed in this this week, and that was a little advantage. But we didn't see the size difference from Key. So maybe he needs to stay in the weight room a little bit more. Maybe he needs to start packing down the protein. I don't know what it is. But unless he's doing that and he's showing improvement strength wise, I think he's just filler. He's just a guy that's going to be in there for our starters to get a little break, a little breather here and there.
Yeah. Or maybe you use him in like a NASCAR package, like a third down pass rush package.
And we talked about that last year going into the season. We said you got two speedsters now. You're going to bring them in when you want to go all out, get after the quarterback. And that's still potentially there, right? But I think there's a lot of question marks there with him. So at most right now, I think the expectation, as high as it can be right now, is that he's going to be, complimentary to the starters that are already there.
I agree. I agree. Should we take a pause?
Yeah, let's take a little break.
All right, let's take a quick break. This will be a shorter show for you guys this week. We'll try to get a guest on for you guys next week as well. But come back. We're going to talk about some of these unrestricted free agents. Who the Raiders bring back? And we're talking just in terms of Raiders right now. We are going to get more into the free agent market as that time comes, as March approaches.
Yeah.
It's a little premature right now. A lot of these guys that are on free agent lists can be re-signed or extended before we get there. So we're going to pause on that conversation. But for right now, we're just going to play Raiders GM. We're going to look down our roster and see who's scheduled to be released this year to the freedom of free agency, who might cash checks with the silver and black, and who might not. So stay tuned. After the break, we will be back.
Yeah.
We out here.
Peace.
you got a bunch of, the young bucks. Zay Jones, I mean, hopefully we're not in that, but what I am saying is I think the Raiders do draft quarterback this year. There's just too many. Hey. We were actually taking a legit break right there.
Yeah. Had to go get another chela, brew a cup of coffee. We're mixing it up over here. Popeye's greater than Chick-fil-A. Don't start that debate up in our chat.
Chick-fil-A is highly overrated, in my opinion. Popeye's all day.
I gotta say though, that anytime I used to go to the Northridge Mall in Salinas, and you would walk past that Chick-fil-A and they were handing out those samples, they were always fire.
Yeah.
It made you go like, I might gotta go back for one
Does
of those.
Popeyes hand out samples?
No.
Does Popeyes have to hand out samples?
No.
Thank you.
No, you know what? And I was introduced to Popeyes in San Diego. Because out here, we don't really have Popeyes. Like in this area, general area, I never really
Got
saw
one right now?
Popeyes.
Well, not then.
back then,
Not
dog.
then,
Not
yeah.
back then. Come on.
Yeah.
But I moved out to San Diego.
Tell me to come on.
Come on, man. My boy was like, yeah, let's go hit up the Popeyes. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's go check this out. I've never been to Popeyes.
Sean, we don't have Cane's out here. Cane's is more of a South thing. We have Popeyes, we got Churches, we got KFC. That's
Yeah.
predominantly the three that you
Yeah.
see.
But Popeyes is shit, man. You go in there, you get yourself that dirty rice.
Ooh, the dirty rice
That
is good.
dirty rice. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
spicy. You gotta get
Me and my boy,
spicy.
needless to say, we visited the Popeyes quite a few times after that.
And Popeyes is the one spot where I will actually get strips just because it's not processed chicken meat. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
straight chicken breast
Yeah,
meat.
yeah.
It's pretty good.
You can
But,
tell the difference.
But I like chicken on the bone, man.
Yeah, no, chicken wings got to be on the bone. Don't you be getting them fucking boneless wings, bro.
And those little chicken tumors,
Bro,
they try
man.
to pass off as wings. Nah.
Goddamn chicken breast chopped up in all
Nah.
kinds of random pieces and shit. Come on,
Nah.
man.
The only place I would get the boneless is at Popeyes, but
Dry
even-
as fuck too. Those boneless wings are dry as shit, bro.
There they are. You momos with your ranch dressing and your fucking boneless wings, man.
Blue cheese, okay?
You see Joey Diaz retweeted that news story? It was like man douses woman with ranch dressing, and he quoted it. He's all, "That's cold-blooded, dog." Our pillagers are like, "What the hell are they talking about?" Hey, check out the Church of What's Happening Now.
Yeah.
That show's changed quite a bit, but it's still a good show. And the man on there, Joey Diaz, thinks ranch dressing's like the worst thing that's happened. Anyways, go ahead and hit that cam.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Give me a second.
Okay, I got you. Oh yeah.
A nice fade.
Coming in here smooth. Coming in here
And,
hot.
hold on. We're not done yet. Not out of the woods yet. We'll try to do a little live production here for you guys because on the back end, it saves me time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so hold on. And that
Can I
might
cut this mic?
agent mark cash checks with the silver and black.
But be
We out here.
Peace.
Yeah, man. What'd you do this weekend, Che? Anything special?
I mean, nothing really, dog. Honestly, my lady, she took off on Friday night. She went down to visit a friend in Pismo.
Mm-hmm.
So she went down there for a portion of the weekend. Peace. I just kind of stayed home and hung out with the Munchkin, you know? Hung out with the Munchkin, you know, did the daddy thing most of Saturday. Which is good, man. I love spending time with her. I don't get to do that a whole lot during the week, so I take advantage on the weekends, man.
Johnny just texted me, said he missed the show. I was like, bro, the show's still going.
Tune in right now, Johnny. Shit.
Yeah. Anyways, we're all set. You ready to punch it back in?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
I checked the audio during the break, and y'all were lying. Sounds fine. It might be a streaming issue, but it sounds good on the replay. So I apologize. Those that listen to the audio broadcast are like, man, I hate they always talk about the live stream. You know what? Tune into the live stream. That's all I gotta say. We're back with the vengeance. Che's got a new beer.
Oh, another chilla.
I'm still sipping on that Woodford
Yeah.
bourbon from last week.
Let them know about that, man.
Real nice.
You said,
What
what'd you say? What'd you say when we were coming up here?
Mm.
How many jokes are packed in today?
All the jokes. felt like it was a little dry that first half. It's because all the jokes are in here.
Here comes the jokes, y'all. Oh man, so here we go. Chela número dos is that Heretic chocolate hazelnut porter, and it claims to be a rich, smooth ale with naturally infused flavors. Okay, so this is a 7.0 on the ABV. Let's give it a little taste. I got since it's colder weather, these porters, these stouts, these coffee infused beers are kind of hitting. They're hitting the spot. So I was like, let me stay around that area.
That's
so I
your
went with this chocolate hazelnut porter. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's good, man. I like that too. So you got even a little burp there.
no bitter beer face on Che.
No. This has no bitterness. It is a smooth. It is what it claims to be. It is rich. The chocolate's not like overpowering, but it's there. It's there. It's nice. You definitely get that dark chocolate taste, right?
Mm-hmm.
That bitterness on it, and then it's very smooth, and you a little bit of the hazelnut. I'm not tasting the hazelnut too much, but there's a nice nice frothiness to this ale. It's a dark ale because it's a porter. So yeah, man. Shout out to Heretic.
That hazelnut's going to get lost in the chocolate. If anything, it's going to cut the bitterness of the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a little nuttiness. It's probably on the back end. But,
A little nutty, yeah, definitely.
And the porter's going to taste like that anyways.
And a little sweetness. I think maybe the hazelnut even brings a little sweetness to it.
By the way, I didn't give a shout out last week, but in the chat right now, Irish Raider, who sent this Woodford over, and this is a fantastic bourbon. Anytime an Irishman sends me a bourbon, that's respect, because you could have sent another type of whiskey, but you sent a bourbon, and that's my favorite, so I appreciate that. This is very delicious, by the way. This is I usually drink Knob Creek, and I'm not mad switching up to this. The other bourbon I've drank recently is the Bullet Rye, which is not a bourbon, but I guess it is. But the Bullet Rye is nice. But this is really nice.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be going for the Woodford in the future. Thank you, Irish Raider. I had not tried this before, and this is gonna be a mainstay on the show until the bottle runs out.
Until it's empty, dog.
Yeah, this is nice. I was missing this in the first half, but
actually, you know what? On Christmas Eve, we went over to my aunt's house for the party, and while I was there, my uncle just dropped me this little bottle of scotch. So I might have to bring that over, man. Maybe we'll dip into that and give our thoughts. Because I told him, I was like, you know what, I'll review that shit.
Yeah.
You gonna give me this little tiny bottle of liquor? I'll review that shit.
what kind of scotch is it?
You know what? Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
McClellan's or something?
I think it might be McClellan's. Yeah. Yeah.
I had a 15.
12, number 12.
The 12.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had the 20
Yeah.
and the 15. Delicious.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jonathan Robinson.
It's a blue box.
Okay.
It came with it even came with a little tiny box.
That's classy,
Yeah,
man.
it is classy. So I
Sounds
was like, hell
nice.
yeah, I'll take that. He's like, here, Merry Christmas. I was like, thank you. You think I'm gonna be mad about that? No,
It's a
ain't
good
no
scotch.
joke to me.
Watt says he worked at Popeyes when he was younger. Hopefully you were nicer than the Popeyes in my neighborhood. The Popeyes service there is absolute garbage. That's why I usually get DoorDash. I do not want to go in there. I still have not tried that damn sandwich. If I go in there, just give me the chicken, dog. I don't need all the accoutrements.
Real quick, man. You just mentioned DoorDash. So you trust these? You trust these delivery services? These
Nope.
These, because bro, I've never even thought of calling an Uber. What is
Eats.
it? Uber Eats
DoorDash.
or DoorDash or what's the other one?
Postmates.
Postmates. I've never even thought of calling or checking to see if there's a dude that would do that in my area, because I don't trust motherfuckers with my food. I want that shit to go straight from the people that made it into my hands. Okay, and no sooner did I think that thought, but then I saw a post on Twitter, and somebody took a picture of some dude in the bathroom There was an Uber Eats
Yeah, I saw
guy
that.
sitting in the stall with the fucking bag of Uber Eats
Saw that.
on the fucking floor in
Yeah.
the fucking stall, bro. Come on, get out of here. with that shit.
I've noticed what DoorDash has been doing recently, at least a couple of the vendors that work with them. I normally only order Wingstop and then the Habit Burger through them.
Right.
And that's only if I didn't defrost meat for dinner,
Yeah.
which when you were a kid, you were most nervous
Yeah.
when you forgot to defrost that chicken. Your mom's coming home, you're doing everything you can to
She said, "Oh no!"
trying to breathe on it, run the water over it.
Soggy ass chicken.
Yeah, it never works. But I noticed the bag is sealed when I get it. They do tape down the bag, so.
Well, that's good. I like that they're taking precautions, but
And I-
still, man, I don't,
And I count my wings.
you know.
But there's been credit card fraud
You
through
said
DoorDash too.
You said you count your wings.
That's right, I do.
You make sure you get there all 24,
1, 2,
babe.
3, 4.
I want all those.
I did 15 today and I couldn't finish. I've been snacking all weekend, bro. But healthy. I'm snacking good.
There you
So
go.
I'm trying to shed
Nothing
this
wrong with
fluffiness. I'm down 5 pounds already. So.
I'm trying to shed some weight too, man. Luckily for me and my brother just started up our rec league, so we're getting out there hooping.
Yeah.
Try to. We actually played this weekend. Played on Saturday. That's what I did on Saturday. I had a game, and we blew out the team by 30. But they had a bunch of senior citizens on the squad, so I mean it's not quite an accomplishment.
Kane says he does DoorDash part time. Well, maybe it's time to bring him on. He could talk about that too. Let's bring him on for
Yeah,
this.
let's get him on.
Let's get him on for this free agent segment. And I've closed.
Dogtown Raider. Shout out Dogtown Raider. I was not worried about Y2K. Bro, computers were barely a thing in 2000, bro. Come on now. I was more worried about my pager getting shut off.
Facts. I was more worried about my plugs pager getting shut off. That was the worst.
Yeah, man.
You dry and you call the number and it's like doo doo doo. You go, no, I gotta go driving around Lily Gardens. Cold calling motherfuckers
man.
for a sack.
It was rough back in the day, dog.
Yeah, it was.
rough,
It was. So let's get Kane on here for this free agency conversation. I have turned off the call-in line right now. So
Yeah.
if you call in, you are able to leave a message.
There you go.
You will no longer be on the spot for the 2-minute drill.
So we're telling you, get your calls in now if you don't want to just make a fool of yourself on the 2-minute drill.
Because as soon as this call's over, I'm turning that shit
It's
back
turning
on.
back. It's getting turned back on.
So Kane, pick up your phone. I'm calling you right now.
Yeah.
Irish Raider says DoorDash means something different there. I don't want to know.
Hello.
Raider Kane, brought to you every week by NFLShop.com. It's Kane's Corner. Go to PJ4F.com. Click through the banner. We get a small piece of that purchase. Get your 2020 Raiders gear now. Kane, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. Let me turn this TV down.
Here you go.
Kane probably watching some post game or something. I know Kane's got his new crib, man.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
I
watching.
ain't watching no post game, man.
You watching some Pinot? You watching some Pinot? I know when I live alone.
You know what I'm watching? I'm watching Naked and Afraid.
Okay.
okay.
Close.
I thought for sure you were watching the first part. Naked. Something naked, bro.
No, I like them shows, man. I like Naked and Afraid. I like Life Below Zero.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I dig this shit.
Yeah.
Che thought you were watching Weapons of Mass Destruction Part 3. It's a good series, by the way. Shout out to Jules Jordan. Always classy.
Oh shit.
The new series with the Bella Danger, real nice, real proper. Yeah.
Ew.
Anyways,
The jokes.
man.
That whiskey's kicking in, yo. That whiskey's kicking in.
that was no joke, bro. That was real facts. That's
I believe you.
That's another podcast, though. That's another podcast.
Oh man.
Shit, I'm on my fifth Lagunitas IPA.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
You're deep in the jungle right now.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I bet. How was those playoff games today? What'd you like, man? What jumped out to you?
Nothing turned out the way I thought it was. And that's just like a Raider fan.
Right.
Nothing ever turns out the way you think it's going to be.
Damn, ain't that the
So,
truth?
Damn, man. Why you have to go so
It
hard
don't
in
even
paint?
work for us when we root for another team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
it is what it is.
But that's one of the reasons why I didn't start talking any kind of mess about the Chiefs, bro. because I was like, watch me say something up in the chat, or let me say something out on Twitter, and then it just turns around and I jinx myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, let me just sit back and let's hope that this turns out the way we wanted to. It didn't.
I was watching the games with Polly, and he got up off the couch to go get a coffee from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right at the time that the Texans scored their third touchdown.
Yeah.
And we both looked at each other like, oh, with that look in our eyes like, could it be? And then by the time he came back and sat down, we had settled down. We're like, it's still the first quarter.
Yeah, it's the first quarter.
And Paulie pointed out, he's like, you've been saying the Chiefs are like the Golden State Warriors of the NFL. These guys can be down 21 and come right back in the game.
No, and that was the thing that I was thinking about. I was like, these motherfuckers peaked too soon, right? The Texans peaked too soon. Like, they peaked in the first quarter. We still got 3 more quarters to play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, you know what? That ain't even what happened, though. I'm going to tell you what happened. What happened is the Titans made mistakes at critical keys and points of the game. The coaching made bad decisions, and the plays didn't happen. They should have scored. Instead of scoring a field goal, if you wanted to put your foot on the throats, you had to be up 28-0.
Yeah. Well, I will say that the decision to go for it on fourth down was critical.
That fake punt, that was some bullshit.
That was.
You did that to yourself. You took the momentum from you and put it on the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs look like, oh shit, y'all scared. Y'all got to go for it on fourth down. Y'all up by 21 points. What's up? Y'all trying to smash us like that? No, what they should have did was kick the fucking field goal. You know what I'm saying? It just went up and just let it alone instead of trying too hard. You showed the team we have to go extra to beat y'all instead of being like, this is what we do. We out here.
That's a good point.
This is what we do.
That's a good point.
And that's not what they did. And they lost.
You know what, though?
The momentum totally switched after that.
I think
you know what I'm saying?
I think that the momentum actually changed before then. So when they were up 21-0 and they were 4th and 1 and they were going to go for it, right? And they're trying to rush in the play and they weren't able to get the play in on time, and then they had to settle for the field goal. That's when momentum changed, because you could see the panic in the coach's fucking face. Like, he knew how serious it was to get as big a fucking lead as he possibly could on the Chiefs. And the minute that kind of like the communication failed or whatever it was that kept them from getting that playoff, you could almost see it. Like he was ultra disappointed that they failed to get that play in. And
absolutely,
you see that if you're on the field and you're the Chiefs and you see the coach that fucking concerned about the fact that they weren't able to get that play in to go for it on fourth down, then you know he doesn't trust his team. He doesn't have that confidence.
There was some desperation there.
Yeah,
there was some desperation there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They should have just went for the field. They should have just called the field goal team out and went for the field goal. Went up 24-0 like it wasn't nothing. Instead, they went to try to like, oh, we're going to fake, like we're going to go forward and this and that. And then, now we're going to kick a field goal. You showing fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. When they was up 21 and they should have just went out on fourth down and kicked the fucking field goal, went up 24-0 and came back out like it wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I thought
they didn't do that.
Thought it was a bitch move by the coaching staff, though, with that fake punt. Your special teams crew has been getting it done all afternoon. Don't get too cute. Punt the ball down there. If anything, chances are you're not getting another return for a touchdown or a fumble return for the touchdown. Pin them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put your team out on the field. But yeah, they thought they had the momentum, which you never really have in someone else's house. You really don't.
Well, you know what? I think at that point,
especially not in the first quarter.
No,
right.
No, not an Arrowhead. That place is loud.
I think he started out coaching himself, bro. He like overthought it. He was trying to make too many fucking big moves too early, too soon. Like, play the game out. You got a lead. Now try to fucking work that lead and see how the game plays out. Yeah, the Chiefs were coming back. They were firing off, but don't help them. Don't help them in that situation. Play the game the way you've been taught. And that is, when you have a lead, start running the fucking ball. Start fucking eating up clock. Start fucking pushing the time and put the pressure on them, because they're at home. They're the ones that should be winning this game. Right? And I think he panicked, man. He saw himself up with a lead and he just didn't know what the fuck to do. Unfortunate, man.
Did too much.
Yeah.
Did too much, too fast, and the Chiefs, that 20 they scored 21 points in the second quarter. That looks familiar to me. So
four touchdowns. Didn't he score 4 touchdowns? Patrick Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
It was 28 from the Raiders and Chiefs game. The Chiefs can score 4 touchdowns in a quarter.
Yeah.
You can't. You got to be smarter than that with the football, and they just wasn't. Tennessee. I mean, not Tennessee. I'm sorry, Houston. Just they gave up the game.
Yeah.
Pretty much at that point, it was over.
So the Chiefs have won 7 games in a row. The last game they lost was against the Tennessee Titans. I like this matchup. I feel like it's an old school AFC matchup.
I like it too.
And you got Green Bay going up against the Great America 49ers next week. Who do you guys got in these matchups, man? I'm actually going to ride the hot hand, and I'm going to take Tennessee.
I like Tennessee too, man. I think Tennessee is a throwback. Tennessee is the team that you expect to win a championship because they get the ball done on the defensive end. They scheme really well for teams' offenses. Like you saw it against Baltimore. They basically forced them to do what they don't like to do. Yeah. Right? They pushed them into a situation where now you have to have Lamar Jackson. You have to have him actually make plays with his arm on a consistent basis.
Under duress.
Under duress. And we saw how it played out. It was a mess, bro. Like that motherfucker was all over the place.
Caved in.
Yeah.
They caved in on him. I like Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry is a great equalizer.
Exactly.
Anytime you can keep their offense on the field that long and you keep other offenses on the sideline, it just changes the flow of the game. It changes the speed. KC is, like I said, the Golden State Warriors. They want to get up tempo. They want to go fast. They want to score.
Yeah.
And I think Tennessee has a chance to equal the balance a little bit. And Vrabel, an excellent defensive coach for being, quite possibly one of the greatest wide receivers of our time. Man has 10 receptions on 14 attempts, all touchdowns.
That's right, man. Belichick did bring his ass in on fucking goal line plays to fucking play like tight end, right, as a linebacker.
10 catches, 10 touchdowns.
That's fucking true, man.
Mike Vrabel, Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Damn.
You heard it here first.
Damn.
That's a hot
hands.
take.
He had hands, bro. Hot take. Take. He's more successful in the playoffs than Amari Cooper will.
Wow. That's not a hot take.
Than he will ever be, bro.
Those are just facts.
Those are just facts.
Kane, who you got next week? You got Tennessee or KC?
I got Tennessee.
Yeah, man.
I think Tennessee is a team that KC is probably most fear.
Yeah.
I think they most fear that run game. I think Derrick Henry can beat their ass up. If you can get Derrick Henry going early and keep him going, 195 yards into the game, then the Chiefs don't have a chance.
Right.
They really don't. I mean, because running the ball chews up clock. And if you can run the ball the majority of the game, the Chiefs, you keep their offense off the field. And guess what? Without their offense being on the field, they can't score a bunch of points.
Yeah.
So if Derrick Henry can run the football and keep the Chiefs' offense off the field, they got a very, very good chance of winning.
Yeah.
Very good chance. They already beat them once like that.
Well, you listen,
so they gotta
man.
be thinking. They got to be thinking like, hey, this motherfucker already ran over us for 195 yards once before this season. Mm-hmm. So they got to be thinking that. They got to be thinking about we got to stop Derrick Henry. And then if they do, guess what? If they load up the box, Tannehill is on fire right now.
He is, man.
You know
and the protection's
so
been really good.
If he can get A. Brown going, if he can get, the tight end, is pretty good right now. Jonna, or whatever his last name is.
Yeah, Jonnu. Yeah.
Jonnu, yeah. He can make some plays. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a rough game for Tennessee. It's not gonna be easy unless Tennessee is scared. If they come out playing,
that team's not scared, bro.
City, then they're gonna lose.
Yeah, they're not scared.
It's just
those motherfuckers are confident, bro. If you saw the end of the game on Saturday, you saw everybody like fucking businessmen just handshaking. Like, good job. On to the next one. Like, this is what we expected. They're very confident right now. They feel like they can shut down any team that they play, and they feel like we got the like Kenny said, we got the equalizer. We got Derrick Henry, who's gonna bust your ass and get 4 yards even when the play is not the way we expected it to.
And playing in KC in that cold weather, you know, Tennessee is pretty cold out there right now itself.
Yeah,
and I think that actually favors Tennessee because in the fourth quarter, in that weather,
you run the ball.
No one wants to tackle that guy.
In the first quarter, you got a big motherfucker running at you, and it's 20 degrees outside.
Boy.
You're already cold, and your bones is already freezing.
Yeah.
And you got a motherfucker running up on you 20 times a game.
6'2", 260 pounds.
That shit gonna be that ain't gonna be too easy to tackle.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So
that's a man right there, bro.
How wild would it be if we
that's
got?
What I was kind of hoping from Marshawn Lynch today. I was hoping Marshawn could beat down the Green Bay defense with his running skills, but
Green Bay's like third rushing defense in the league.
Rest
though.
in peace, Marshawn Lynch.
Hey, got it done at the goal line though. Let's give some respect. But Green Bay's like number 3rd in rush defense, I think, in the NFL. Quietly, Green Bay did fairly well on defense this year. So that's the other matchup next weekend, right? Green Bay going into Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. That game, to me, can go either way. Aaron Rodgers can step up and become vintage Aaron Rodgers, but how does he get away from that San Francisco pass rush? That's the big question mark to me. Can they contain the three-headed monster of the rushing attack? The stats say that they can, but can they? I don't know. And one thing I am confident about is Green Bay forcing Jimmy G into some bad decisions. We've seen Jimmy G force it all year. Every game, 2 to 3 passes that should be interceptions. It's the playoffs now. Those should-be's have to turn into bona fides. So that game can go either way. You already know who I'm going to be rooting for in that game. My family has Green Bay Packer ties. I'm not a fan of the 49ers fans, their fan base. If your fan base was different, maybe we can talk because you're a Bay Area team, but your fan base is trash. Fan base is garbage. I don't want to fucking hear about it. Fuck the 49ers.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck the 49ers.
I got
and
love.
They fans.
All of them. I got love for the A's and the Giants. I root for the
and
Sharks.
to all y'all motherfuckers that don't live in California that's talking about y'all going to root for the 49ers, fuck y'all too. Y'all don't know nothing about what's going on up in the Bay Area. We don't fucking root for the 49ers here. You understand? We don't root for the 49ers. If we are Raider fans, and we don't fucking root for the 49ers.
Nope.
So for all you motherfuckers talking about, I'm a root for the 49ers, fuck y'all. You can unfollow me on Twitter and all that shit because I don't want a 49er fan following me. Fuck y'all.
You know who roots for the 49ers?
That shit from the bottom of my motherfucking soul. Fuck the 49ers.
You know that lady that won the pick'em poll this year by picking the teams because she liked the mascot? She's a 49er fan. That's your Niner faithful right there. She's a 49er fan.
Oh man, did y'all see that tweet that went out of the Vikings fan changing his jersey to a fucking a Kittle jersey in the middle of the fucking playoff game? Get the hell out of here. That's the kind of fans y'all got, man.
There's Niner players.
Well, real quick before this goes away,
fucking 49er fans come out the fucking bandwagon, fucking closet. And fucking, as soon as they win 2-3 games in a row, here come the 49er fans trampling. You motherfuckers don't be around when they ain't winning. You motherfuckers ain't shit. When the Raiders wasn't winning 0-10, it was still 50,000 motherfuckers showing up in the stadium. We wasn't complaining about the sun and the heat on one side of the motherfucking field. Fuck the 49ers and they goddamn fans.
No, listen, man.
You gotta be from the Bay Area to understand that shit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know?
The exact same way you see me on the feed is how I've been walking around goddamn town today, okay? Like, we don't hide our fandom. I got a fucking license plate that says Raiders. I got fucking Chucky fucking hanging from my goddamn mirror. We're out there every day showing who we represent, win, lose, tie, whatever. That's not
Raiders
the case.
Till we die, baby.
Niner fans will
win, lose, or tie. Raiders till we die.
Niner fans will be quick to put up that brand new fucking flag that they bought yesterday once they fucking make playoffs or once they get a win in the playoffs, and you're gonna see a lot of that. You're gonna see a lot of that. But real quick, I want to shout out my lady who just donated some money.
Thank you, Vicky.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
appreciate that.
Thank you, babe. Appreciate you.
We wear our fandom on our sleeve. I got a sealed criminal record. You open that up, a bunch of Raider stickers fall out in that envelope.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's just a Raider fan. No wonder we have this sealed up.
Yeah.
and
Well,
locked away.
people be fucking looking at me like, oh, but your guys' team didn't play that well today. Why are you just
Cut
up on
me
all Raider?
open and Raider gear fall out my
'Cause I'm a-
motherfucking skin.
Because I'm a
Fuck
real
all them
motherfucking
people.
Raider fan. That's why
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you cut us
Yeah.
open, fucking silver's gonna pour out our fucking veins, okay? We ain't hiding our fandom. It doesn't matter if we got blown out by fucking 40 points. You're gonna see us in a goddamn Raider jersey, Raider shirt, Raider hat.
If I'm wearing my Raiders
you
gear,
know.
if I'm wearing my Raiders gear after a loss, that's me telling you, say something.
Yeah, say something.
Open your goddamn mouth.
0-10,
Say
and we
something.
sold out on a Thursday night football game.
That's right.
In the middle of the week when motherfuckers got to go to work on Friday.
That's right.
We sold out. We 0-10, and it's raining. Fuck the 49er fans. They don't do that shit.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
They're all
No,
showing
they
up.
don't.
Everyone's scrambling to buy a Niner t-shirt before they head to their first ever home game this season.
Yeah.
It's whack.
Yeah.
It's real whack.
Real quick, because I think this is appropriate time to drop this.
Uh-huh.
I was just hanging out with my boy
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay.
He's a Niner fan. And we were having
This is the small guy, right?
Yeah. It's my boy George. My boy George.
the
Shout out my boy George because he supports. He supports.
He's a short guy with the high ceilings. Every time he
Yeah.
goes to change the light bulb, it's an episode of Fear Factor.
No, hey man, how you gonna do my boy like that?
Your boy's a Niner fan.
But
dog.
he did say that he didn't like the fact that the height of his doors were too tall. Because how's he supposed to hang a fucking hook on the door and get his towel down? But listen,
Motherfucker brings a step ladder out to the mailbox, and he's over here complaining about the door frames. Yo.
No, but listen, man, this is my dog, man. This is my dog. It's my brother from another mother. But no, listen, we were sitting there, we were conversing about football and our fandom and our teams. And this motherfucker, he told me something else, and I told him, I was like, yo, straight up, dog. I'm about to go and do a show tomorrow. I'm about to say this shit on there. And he said, you go ahead, man. You go right ahead. Because what I'm telling you is exactly how I feel.
What'd he say?
He said, I am a Niner fan.
Okay.
And I hate our name. I hate that we're called the San Francisco 49ers.
What's the alternative?
I don't know.
What's the alternative?
I don't know. You tell me, Kitty.
The San Francisco.
The Santa Clara 49ers?
Yeah.
No, it's not
They
even
don't
the.
even play in fucking San Francisco. They
It's
don't
not
even play
even-
nowhere near close to
No.
San Francisco.
But it's not even
They
the-
moved out of San Francisco.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
What people from the Bay Area don't understand is the Niners play 45 minutes from San Francisco. They don't even play in fucking San
That's
Francisco.
without traffic. The Santa Clara startups.
And I hate that when you see them play on TV, like nationally televised games.
Oh, they'll be showing San Francisco.
They be showing clips of San Francisco and talking about, the Bay Area, blah, blah, blah. And then they fucking pan into fucking Great America Stadium. And it's like,
The 49ers
motherfuckers are nowhere
fucking
near the Bay.
The Silicon Valley Niners. That's what they should be called. The
They should be the
Silicon Valley. 'cause
Silicon
that's where
Valley.
they play.
They should
They
be
play right there in Silicon Valley.
Silicon
They're
Valley.
right
The
next
Rams
to
play.
all
The Rams
Yahoo
play in
and
Silicon
Google and all
Valley.
the other little companies out there. That's where they play. They don't play in San Francisco.
Shout out, yeah.
Grimy ass 3rd Street where
Those
I
are
work
motherfucking
at. Where
facts,
all
bro. I'm gonna
niggas
hit you with
is.
that. Facts.
They don't play over there no more. That shit is gone. That's done. They play in Santa Clara.
That's a fact. Yo, your boy Kenny said, real quick, hold up, pump the brakes, because the team that plays in Silicon Valley is the Los Angeles Rams.
The Niners play in Silicon Valley.
Oh man,
My
listen.
bad. Okay.
Real quick though. I mean, what should we call these motherfuckers? Because like you said, they're now in Santa Clara. They're now we like to joke. Like to call them the Great America 49ers. But if for the name 49ers is trash, which we all agree with, I'm agreeing with you, dog. Like you don't like your team's name, I don't like it either. But if you want to call them somebody else, what are we gonna call them? Santa Clara what?
Startups. .coms. You can name them after the roller coaster. You call them the Gold Strikers. That's close to 49ers.
It's close.
The falafel cakes, the funnel cakes,
The Santa Clara churros.
churros.
The roller coasters, because they're right next to Great America. Call them the roller coasters. Oh shit!
Oh man.
What team plays in a parking lot of a fucking amusement park? What other team does that? What other team
It's the only team,
plays
bro.
right? I got to go to a Great America, and every time I get out of my goddamn car, I got to look and see the 49ers station.
Yeah.
I mean the stadium. That shit just it make you not want to go to Great America.
Every time I get on Top
They
Gun,
fucking Great America sales up.
Every time
Raider fans ain't fucking with that shit. I don't even want to go in the parking lot.
every time I get on Top Gun, the drop. Right when you get to the top of it, you can look down in the Levi Stadium, and I'm always dropping the bird on the camera when I come down the roller coaster. Fuck that stadium. You play in a giant Target department store. Anyways, to wrap this up, the way the Pillaging Podcast has it right now, and biases are in full play here.
Yeah.
It's looking like a Green Bay, Tennessee Super Bowl as far as we're concerned. It's the way we'd like to see it.
I mean, that's what I would.
God.
I would love to see that, but I do not see Green Bay beating San Francisco. Let's be real.
But to be honest, a Niner Titan Super Bowl or a
I think
Niner.
Aaron Rodgers is better than Garoppolo. I think Aaron Rodgers is that factor of that game, and I think Aaron Rodgers can go into San Francisco and beat the 49ers. I think he can. If Devontae Adams has a good game like he did tonight,
right?
Seattle got a good defense, man. That they ain't no joke on defense.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And they went out there.
I agree, dog. Look, what I'm saying is this. I don't see this Green Bay team matching up the way that Seattle would have matched up with San Francisco. So Seattle has already seen San Francisco twice this season. A third matchup would have been in their benefit because they won the first one, dropped the second one. You got to say the team that lost last is going to make the adjustments. Now, Green Bay also played San Francisco this season, got fucking mollywopped. So you would hope they make some adjustments. But I just don't think that they match up as well as Seattle would have.
I don't.
They was without Devontae Adams.
Yeah, they
Were
were.
they? Oh, okay.
They were, and their offensive line has been in shambles.
Adams.
Yeah.
But the thing about Seattle at this point is they have no run game. They got nothing. And so that alone gives Green Bay a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
But can Aaron Rodgers play against the pass rush of the 49ers?
My question is, can they protect Aaron Rodgers from the pass rush?
Right.
Because we saw what they did this weekend against Minnesota. They got all up in Kirk Cousins' ass, and they can do nothing about it, okay?
But Minnesota line wasn't all the way healthy either.
Well, but
you know what I'm saying?
but Green Bay's isn't that great either. That is my thing. Like I don't see any Pro Bowlers on his offensive line, bro. Like, yeah, you have Devontae Adams, but you have to have the time for him to run his route and get him the ball. Now, the one thing that Aaron Rodgers can do is move. He's mobile. He's a mobile quarterback.
Buy you some time.
Right.
Yeah.
So
he can buy you some time. Yeah.
You hope, as a Raider fan, I hope that motherfucker does exactly that and is able to pick these guys apart. But who's going to be covering on Devontae Adams? Because I'm assuming Sherman's going to fucking be on him most of the time. Yeah.
Sherman, yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
And Sherman's been killing it, dog.
The Raiders allowed 28 sacks this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Packers have allowed 29. The definitely not the bottom of the league.
Right.
You know, I think they're ranked like sixth overall in the power ranking for sacks allowed. So, and even at his age, Aaron Rodgers slightly more mobile than Kirk Cousins.
Oh, absolutely.
I was saying going into this weekend, you know, I got a Niner fan in my ear. I was like, you know what? I think you guys are probably going to handle Minnesota. Kirk Cousins has done well this year, but he's stiff as a board.
Yeah.
He's stiff as a board.
And he's not mobile. He's not mobile.
Yeah.
He's not going to run around. If he's going to look at his reads, and if they're not there, and you got the sack is there, he's gonna take the sack or throw it out.
Right.
You know, he's
at his age,
quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers this year, we saw him throw was like a 25, 30-yard touchdown pass out of like a 3/4 arm slot on his way to the ground.
Yeah.
When his receiver had like 0.9 yard separation. Everyone's seen the commercial.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
the next gen stats commercial.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers can still get it done at that level. Really, if you're looking at just playoff experience, I'd give the nod to Green Bay. But how disappointing is that for sponsors? Now, I will say, you know, if it's a Green Bay Tennessee Super Bowl, that's pretty lackluster. Nobody had those teams circled at the beginning of the season, unless you're a Green Bay.
You know what? As a Raider fan, would love it.
It would be cool.
I would love it.
It would be
Well, yeah,
cool.
of course.
Because the two teams you hate,
Anything
catch
but
the
the
L.
Chiefs, 49ers. Because I ain't watching that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not watching that. Hell no. I'm
tell
not
you
watching
what,
that. I don't give a fuck.
State
Because I
Farm-
don't want either team to win.
State Farm is
I
pushing
don't want either team
for a
to
Green
win.
Bay Kansas City Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
Because those Aaron Rodgers,
Aaron
Patrick
Rodgers and
Mahomes
Patrick Mahomes,
commercials,
yeah.
you know, they'd be on fire.
You're
but
right. You're right.
We'll see what happens. We have another conversation to attend to. Well, I initially called you about is Raiders have a bevy of unrestricted free agents going into 2020. At the top of that list is Darryl Worley. Kane, are you bringing Worley back at the age 25?
No.
Are you bringing Worley back?
No. We can do better.
So right now, your lone
We can
starting corner.
At this point in my Raider juncture, as far as cornerbacks are concerned, we can draft a better cornerback than Worley. Worley is serviceable. If you bring him back, he's not the starter. He's a good tackle. He's aggressive. He can tackle.
Hold on, pause.
Covering
Pause.
is suspect.
Pause.
You know,
because I agree with everything you said, but just to circle back, let me put a bow on the last discussion. I've talked about this before, and Hardcore Raider been bringing up really good points all night in the chat. Really quick, before we move on from the Super Bowl talk, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to leave it out there. The NFL is all about storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about this a lot when we had the Ravens-Niners Super Bowl. Not to bring up the Niners again, but you know, that year I hosted a Super Bowl party at my house, and it was pretty much all Niner fans and me. It was my lady at the time.
And you were laughing your ass
I was
off
laughing
when
my
they
ass off.
fucking.
But I was telling them going into the game, I was like, look, the NFL's all about storylines.
Yeah.
What's the storyline in this game?
The brothers going against each other.
Oh, you know, Colin Kaepernick and the Niners coming at it. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not the brothers. No, it's not that. It's Ray Lewis in his final season.
Yeah,
in the NFL.
you're right.
He will go out as a Super Bowl champion because that whole year was all about Ray Lewis. All about Ray Lewis.
You're right.
It's all about storylines. You know, you had the Patriots.
Do we need to put on our fucking tinfoil hats right now?
Post 9/11.
Yeah, hey, we can go all the way back to the Tuck Rule game, bro.
Yeah,
I swear to God,
hold on.
during the Tuck Rule
Post
time,
9/11.
when we had the Tuck Rule game,
Post
I
9/11,
was
you had
like,
the Patriots winning,
the
right?
NFL wants
You
the
had-
Patriots to win the fucking Super Bowl because the 9/11 shit.
Yeah.
That's where
It
you're going.
wouldn't be nothing
Okay.
fitter than to have the red, white, and blue team win the Super Bowl.
In his
I
final
agree with
season.
you, Kenny. It's all about storylines. It's all about who we want. And look, the NFL ushered.
Let me get to my point.
They ushered the
Let me
Patriots
get to my point.
into the Super Bowl that year.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Let me get to my point. Peyton Manning in his final year as a quarterback who won the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning. Storyline this year on the anniversary of the NFL's 100th season would be a throwback to Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl. It's the anniversary of that Super Bowl.
Ooh. Storyline like a motherfucker.
You know what I mean? And who
Super
won?
Bowl
That was the first Super Bowl?
Super Bowl number one.
That was
Yeah.
Super Bowl number one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Number one.
Conspiracy?
Yeah.
Hey, put on your goddamn tinfoil hats. Put on your tinfoil hats right now because we're going deep.
Let me get Alex Jones on the
Get
line.
Alex Jones on the line right now, Kenny.
How fitting would it be that 60 years later we got the Super Bowl one matchup? Oh my God.
Oh,
I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
man. And who won that Super Bowl? The Green Bay
The
Packers.
Packers.
Hold on, we got Alex Jones on the line. Yeah, this is Alex Jones calling in right now. Just kidding. That sounded terrible.
That sounded horrible. Bro, you do the voice by
This
yourself. You don't need no
okay.
audio help, bro. You do the voice perfect by
That
yourself.
sounded
dog.
terrible. But yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, Hardcore, because I saw that flash on my feed today. I was like, you know what? NFL storylines, they always seem to overcome everything else that's going on. Just follow the storyline. It's a fucking novella. in the NFL. So, anyways,
and you know how predictable fucking novelas are.
Yeah, very. So let's get back to the conversation we were having. Darryl Worley, everything you said about Worley, I agree with. What makes me nervous is you got Trayvon Mullen is the only corner left over. So where do the Raiders go to pick up that corner? Now, it's too early to talk about free agent acquisitions. There's a lot that's left to wash out before free agency officially happens. A lot of these guys might get re-signed and extended. So it's too early to talk about who we're going to bring in and who's available that's out there. But does that make you at all nervous having Trayvon Mullen being the only guy? Because I almost answered that for you. Having Worley back as the number one makes me nervous. Yeah. That makes me nervous.
Yeah. Look, man, we can definitely – don't be upset, Raider fan, if we draft or if the Raiders draft a cornerback with one of them first-round picks. Just don't be upset. You know what I mean? It makes sense. It really does to me. The defensive line is a strength. And, people like, oh, we need another defensive tackle or whatever. No, when you think about defense, you're thinking about the back end of the defense. Mm-hmm. That front of that defense is pretty good. You need another linebacker because we don't play three all the time. So you definitely need a true middle linebacker, somebody that can play sideline to sideline, and then you need another cornerback. You definitely need that.
You need the corner.
If we absolutely, if you draft a cornerback in the first round, I ain't mad because you need it.
Real quick though, because I'm looking at the chat and your boy Mean519 and he was supported by 3 Rings Raider is saying, yo, Isaiah Johnson, 6'2", ran a 4.45, and we're hearing that the Raiders are big on him. Okay. Yeah. And
he's the best kept secret right now.
And we can sit here and say, well, if they're big on him, why didn't he fucking play? But we also saw Mullen sit the bench until Garyon was gone, right? And then all of a sudden he came into play. So there's potential that we might just have 2 young cornerbacks that might be taking over that starting role coming into this next season.
Possible.
And if that's the case, if the Raiders do see that potential in those guys, if Gruden, if Mayock, if your boy PG say, no, these are our guys going into the next season, then I think they completely avoid cornerback. If anything, I would say that what the Raiders might actually need is a proven cornerback, right? A guy that's already been doing it for a few years, and this guy's a fucking guarantee. Maybe pay him a little bit of money.
Jonathan Joseph is going to be available at the end of this season.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. We need somebody. I don't feel comfortable with Isaiah Johnson being the bona fide 2 behind. I would imagine Trayvon.
But listen,
I don't feel comfortable with 2 rookies either.
But listen, real quick. How comfortable were we feeling about Mullen before he started?
I mean, we were comfortable. I watched him play at Clemson.
Okay.
I was very comfortable.
I liked Mullen.
Okay.
I liked the idea of Mullen.
But there was a part of you that was questioning why wasn't he starting from the get, right?
Because you had Gary and Conley.
Yeah.
Right. No, but what
you can't. He's a first-round pick, so
I agree.
Absolutely.
Can't show the league that if you're trying to trade him, you can't show the league that he's not your guy.
I agree.
You got to let him start and then trade him like, okay, we don't need him because we got somebody behind him.
I agree, but I think it's also learning, right? So you also gave the dude enough time to get himself up to speed mentally to what it is to be an NFL player, right? So you have this guy, you say, this guy's talented, he is the guy, but we want to let him sit, get himself schooled up. Meanwhile, we let Garyon Conley play. Can you tell me that Garyon Conley helped his case in his in getting traded? No, he played worse than he did last season, dog. So if anything, his value dropped this season when we saw him out on the field because he was getting burnt. He was getting beat, right? If we would have traded him last season, we would have said, now we're getting our fucking money's worth. But this season, his fucking value, he got his value dropped. So we're not making an argument for saying like, okay, well, we wanted to get some, we wanted to put him out there for trade bait because he actually made himself seem even worse than he did last season.
Could we have traded him on Monday instead of sending him to the Texans 2 days before we played them?
Right.
Could we have done that at the very fucking least, bro?
I know, right?
Damn.
But no,
that was
but
probably
so
a stiplet. That was probably a stiplet in the trade. It's probably like either y'all trade him now or after Monday we ain't fucking with y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
but so listen. So this is my thing with that. I think Trayvon Mullen, he got drafted as early as he did because they saw him as that guy. They saw him being a sure fucking like take over the number one spot as far as our cornerbacks are concerned. You draft Isaiah Johnson because you see a lot of potential there too, but you're gonna say we're not gonna hold you to the standard of Trayvon Mullen. We're gonna let you sit a little bit. You're right of the pine. Okay, we got Worley. We brought his ass over from Philadelphia. We thought he had a lot of potential. He's still fucking young. Let him play the other side. Let him try to at least make up for last season. And you let Isaiah Johnson sit and fucking learn and get himself to the same level at least as Mullen is in terms of mentality for the NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
We already know you have the physical attributes. You're 6'2", you're a big cornerback, and you can run. So just get caught up. So I can see them starting them day one, dog. I can really see them starting them day one and saying
really
like,
do.
yeah, I can see them doing that, and saying like, Worley, okay, we're done with you.
Gruden is not John Gruden is not like rookie.
You're right.
He's not a rookie guy. You know what I'm saying?
But they're not rookies.
But
they're not rookies. They're not rookies. This is second year. We're going into their second year. This year was their rookie year.
But essentially, Isaiah Johnson's rookie year, though, will be his second year.
But
he did sit, and he got some playing time.
Right.
But really, if you're trying to say, look, you the guy, you the man from day one, we're going to give you the handles, you the man, I don't know, man.
I agree with Kane. I think Paul Gunther, also to double down, also loves his vets. And I see them bring in, like you had mentioned earlier, Chase, somebody that's, a bona fide starter.
And that's what
they got money to play with. Johnson, I think, probably gets looks next year, likely as a third corner to replace Joyner in that slot.
Absolutely.
And let's move this conversation forward. We can all agree, at least on this, Daryl Worley will not be a Raider next year.
There you go. I agree with that.
Daryl Worley's not playing in Vegas.
A starter at the least. He won't be a starter at the least, but yeah.
Okay.
He won't be a Raider.
Okay.
Let's talk about this. We talked about Carl Joseph already, and we've talked to Kane about that a couple weeks ago. But let's move ahead on this list. Next on this list is the man.
Perfect.
Vontaze Burfict.
Okay.
Is Vontaze Burfict a Raider next year? He's lost speed.
Ooh.
We already know he's on a short leash. He said he wants to come back. I believe it was somebody in the Raiders, was it John or was it Mike, said, we'll take a look at that situation. We don't know what the status is right now. As a fan, I'd like to see Burfict back, but I also feel like, how much gas is left in the tank there. Middle linebacker is such a need, has been a need on this team. We already know they're not drafting a middle linebacker high. I mean, just face the facts, Raider Nation. It hasn't happened. It's probably not going to happen. I don't think PG feels like he needs to go that high for a middle linebacker, but PG system desperately relies on having middle linebackers. So what happens to Vontaze Burfict? But not a rookie, no.
But not a rookie.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to get a high round draft pick to play middle linebacker this year. So
I see Vontaze back. If he can come back, he's back.
Now,
absolutely, it's like a Reggie Nelson type love affair.
He served his time. Is he back free and clear, or is he out on parole?
He's out on parole.
He is, huh?
Because we're gonna have to take a look. I've been posting online the Michigan State middle linebacker, but Baccia Jr. He's not gonna be there. He's going to be there in the late second, third round. I believe he'll be there. If you bring this dude back, if you bring Burfict back, you need to already have somebody that's there in place. You know what I'm saying? It's not Markel Lee. I think he's better at the weak side. You play. I'm sorry, strong side. You play Burfict, and if he fucks up and gets kicked out, then you got your third round to come in ready to go. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have some depth. I'm not saying don't bring Burfict back. I'm saying bring Burfict back, but you need depth. That's what the problem with this team is right now. We all saw that throughout the season, throughout the whole roster. You need depth. You know what I'm saying? So right now we need to be drafting for the future, but also we need to be drafting for players that can step in and play when you need them to play and play efficiently. You know what I'm saying? With some knowledge of the game. So, yeah, bring Burfict back, but draft somebody, you know, maybe third, second, late second, draft, you know, trade back into the second. I know we don't have a second round pick, trade back into the second, get you a linebacker there, or get one in the third. That's my thought.
Pete's talking about Eric Kendricks and free agency. Eric Kendricks is not a free agent this year. He signed a 5-year extension in 2018. So as much as I would love to see Eric Kendricks.
Yeah, we were talking about him downstairs.
Yeah,
we were talking about him downstairs.
Awesome.
That would be a excellent fit because he's a guy that's fucking hard-nosed. He plays the run really fucking well. We saw it against us when we played Minnesota. He was always in the hole.
He's smart. He breaks
was
down
always
the
in
play
the hole.
instantly.
And then against San Francisco, we saw what he can do in the passing game, which was shocking because I didn't expect him to have that ability. And he's getting in the zone, and he read the quarterback's eyes really fucking well.
They say he doesn't pay attention to receivers. He pays attention to the line shifts and the blocking assignments.
Yeah, he studies.
Well, he's not available, so ain't no need in talking about this.
Right, exactly.
He's not available.
So Vontae's perfect. Maybe bring him back, keep him on a short leash. Maybe he doesn't play every down, but a coach on the field type player. That being said, still a need. Still need to get an understudy in there. Something. Middle linebacker needs to be addressed this offseason. So we'd all like to see Burfict brought back, but we cannot rely on Vontae's Burfict. Unfortunately, I'd like to say that we could, but at 29 years old going into the next season, I think he'll be 30. On the short leash, that's paper thin, and we can't rely on that. Next guy, Benson Mayowa, defensive end, again, 29 years old, flashed early in the season. But I think this defensive line is really starting to shape up, and I don't see Benson Mayowa as a need to bring back next year. What about you?
No, absolutely not. I think guys like the younger guys like Morrow, M-A-U-R-O.
Well, Morrow's the same age as Mayowa. They're both 29 years old.
Is that right? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's no need to bring back Mayowa. I think that, like I said, the defensive line is the strength of the defense. You know what I'm saying? And that's without Mayowa. They played pretty much the same. Max Crosby came along at the end, and Farrell, he had some good games, towards the end. So I think going forward, you just be, if you did bring Mayowa back, then you taking a roster spot away from somebody you could bring in to develop.
Yeah, or even more youth, right? Yeah, so the next guy I have on this list is a guy I would love to bring back. He made $1.4 million in 2009. That was his AAV, his adjusted. Is Dwayne Harris. I'd love to see Dwayne Harris back in the silver and black next year.
Yeah.
I would really like to see that.
Well, special teams is important, dog. Like, you got to be solid in all facets of the game, right? And we already know what Eric Harris can do. He's produced for us. As long as he's not fucking injured, he's definitely a guy that you want to keep on the squad.
Here's the caveat. Dwayne Harris is now 32 years old.
Okay.
So he's up there. But he's shown that he can get it done on special teams. Now, can he stay healthy? I don't know. Now, my gut feeling says, the Raiders will go out, they will draft another young corner, and they will draft wide receivers, and they will likely put one of those later round picks in that special teams role to cut their teeth and whatnot. And
what happened to Dwayne Harris? Because he was not nowhere to be. I mean, I didn't see much of him.
He was injured.
Was
he was
hurt?
injured, dog.
Yeah, injured.
He was injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was injured.
Okay, so you can't really lose your career to injury, but you can't lose your position. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I think it's time to move on from that. I think it's time to move on from that too.
Yeah.
I do. I'm always with youth. When you're trying to build, you're not a Super Bowl caliber team. You ain't, playoff year in, year out. You trying to get there. So every position you can man with a younger person to, you got 4 or 5 years with them. I think you're in a better position to do that than you are to keep bringing back guys that's on their last, few years. You're wasting roster spots when you're not a playoff year in, year out team. And let's get it straight, guys. We haven't made the play.
Right,
I mean,
right.
we did in 2016, but that was kind of like a whatever. But, essentially we ain't made the playoffs in 20 years.
So here's a question for you then. Here's a question for you. At 25 years old, do you bring back Nicholas Morrow?
Yeah.
Yes. I like Nicholas Morrow. Yeah. I'm not saying that because I like him, bring him back. I'm saying I like his play. Yeah, I do. Listen, the linebackers, we need one line. In my opinion, we just need one linebacker, and we needed Lee to stay healthy this year. You know what I'm saying? And I think you would have had a whole – because when you did, the defense played well. When you had Lee, you had Burfict, Moreau step in here and there. You played pretty good. You really on as far as linebackers concerned, I don't think you need to overhaul the whole linebacking core. I think just bring in a legitimate middle linebacker, somebody that can quarterback the defense.
Well, real
somebody
quick,
you can count on.
Real quick, because
17 games.
We didn't really have Lee this season, right? Lee was in and out with injuries. To start the season, we started off with Morrow. We started off with Burfict and Whitehead, right?
Oh,
So,
I thought that was Lee. My bad.
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, Lee.
I thought Lee started off. Oh, okay.
No, I think he got injured.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I think he got injured pretty early in the season, bro. If anything, he was already out like preseason. I want to say
Who's that?
Lee,
No,
Markel Lee.
I think Lee got hurt after Burfict left.
No, Lee came back late.
Lee was
he's
injured pretty
early.
much all season, and then he came back late. Burfict was the key factor on our defense, dog. He was the green dot. The moment that you took the green dot away from Burfict and you gave it to Whitehead, that's when shit went haywire. Because
South.
because Whitehead ain't supposed to be the green dot. He's supposed to be that guy that gets told where to be. You know what I mean? That's what Whitehead is. He's an athletic dude.
No, he's supposed to be the guy that's sitting at home on the couch watching the game. That's in my opinion. Shit.
No, listen, man.
know?
I give him respect for what he is. He is a guy who he's a tackler. He's a fucking guy that can move and run, but he's not a guy that can decide what your defense should do.
Lee?
Yeah, he's not a guy that should be
He
reading.
couldn't cover a running back with a blanket.
Right, he can't. But he also can't put your guys in a position where your defense is in an advantage, which is the reason why Burfict was brought here in the first place, because he understood the defense that PG was running. So when Burfict came, everybody said the same thing. He knows this fucking defense like the back of his hand, and he knows exactly where everybody needs to be. And that was super helpful to Whitehead and all the other LBs, because they didn't have to think. They just had to react.
So the only reason why I say bring Lee back is because of his injury history. You can bring him back on the cheap, but I disagree with Kane in that we only need one linebacker. Morrow's a guy that we've been hoping for. We've been talking about his potential for three seasons now. At least 2 seasons. I think I have that wrong. 2 seasons now.
2 seasons.
Morrow, I don't think is a guy. I think this was his year to show growth. And honestly, I didn't see any. I'd say that I saw the same Nicholas Morrow I've been seeing. I haven't seen any growth out of him at all.
But I think injuries played a lot in Morrow as well. So here's what I'm saying.
I need linebackers to stay healthy. I need linebackers that can stay healthy.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with
and
you there.
attack the ball.
Hey,
But you're looking at Morrow.
The best ability, right?
Morrow was he an undrafted linebacker?
No,
Because
we got him in like the 5th or 6th round.
He was
like
a late round draft pick, or he was a fucking undrafted guy.
He's undrafted.
Yeah. So he was an undrafted guy. So he's playing on pennies.
Yeah.
And if you have a guy that has that much potential, we've seen it as far as his coverage abilities.
He made $500,000.
Yeah. If you have a guy that's playing on that cheap amount of cost to your team, you have some other guys that are, they're older, or they've been on this squad for a while. They were actually drafted, and they're getting paid a little bit more money. This guy at 25 years old, he's 25. at 25 years old in his second or third, going into his third season. And he's shown you at times that he can be a good coverage guy. He's got some speed. He gets around really well. He gets to the ball really well. If all he's battling is an injury, then I think you give him a shot.
Then
but
bring him back as rotation. Now
I'm not saying put him on the starting. I'm not saying start him.
This defense needs a lot of help.
You don't think Lee? You don't. So Kenny, you don't think Lee and Moreau are the guys? Is that what you're saying?
Based on their injury history, they're not guys we can rely on. So no, they're not the guys. They're guys. They're not the guys. This defense needs a lot of help, and all of it is at linebacker. This defensive line is coming together. This secondary is starting to shape up. We need help in the middle of the field. We've been getting gashed in the middle of the field for over a decade now. And until the Raiders decide to finally break the mold and say, we're going to spend some money and some draft value at the linebacker position, this defense is and will continue to be absolutely fucked.
But listen, I say this.
But
I say this about that.
Will you agree that with Burfict and Lee and Moreau, or with whoever Moreau started with Burfict, we was playing good defense.
We were playing okay.
And so it was that one person. Like you said, that factor was Burfict. So if that was the case, then injury can't be really played into your decision on why we should get rid of Moreau and Lee.
Except you guys already agreed Burfict is on a short leash.
Without injury.
Lee has an injury history, and Moreau has not played up to potential. And we all agreed that linebacker is the weak spot on the defense. So bringing these guys back as the guys is not the answer.
Hold on real quick. Because
these guys are not the answer, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you guys and say we're going to bring them back and everything's going to be hunky-dory. These guys are not the answer. We've been rolling the dice on this for years now. They are not the answer. We need help at linebacker.
I'm going to say this.
These guys are backups at best.
I'm going to say this. I'm not arguing
they're
with you.
backups.
I'm not arguing that they're not backups, dog. But you're talking about potential. You're talking about an undrafted person. Okay, this is an undrafted player, a la Jalen Richard. The value to the team and the amount of performance that you've gotten out of the player goes into play, right? With Morrow, you could argue that factor. You could say this guy has shown us at times that he can be of value to us on the field, and he's definitely of value to us in the fucking pocketbook, right? Burfict going out of the game makes a big difference for a guy like Morrow, because Morrow isn't the guy that's gonna he isn't the guy that's going to be carrying the green dot. He's an additional player. If you have a guy that can tell him exactly where he needs to be, and all he has to do is focus on his athleticism and be able to perform what he showcased in that undrafted season, then I think he is a good guy to carry on. A guy like Whitehead isn't, because he costs us a lot more money, and he can't carry the green dot.
Who's the guy that's going to show him where to be? Burfict's not lining up on every single play next year.
Exactly, and you're absolutely right.
Bring back Burfict, and you're going to draft the person that if Burfict fuck up and get suspended or kicked out, you're going to have somebody there.
No, you're absolutely right, Kenny.
I'm saying, in my opinion,
we got to draft a middle linebacker.
To a healthy
we have to draft the captain
and a healthy Moreau, then all you need is a middle linebacker and some depth.
We got to bring in
what you need.
We got to bring in 3 linebackers this offseason at the most. At the least, I mean,
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, they ain't doing that. Gunther ain't doing. They ain't changing.
No, but listen, I think they will.
That ain't gonna happen.
I think they will. The way that they bring them in is questionable. How do we bring in 3 linebackers? Do we draft 3 linebackers? No. Do we draft do we finally fucking take the step to draft a fucking number 1 linebacker, a middle linebacker that's gonna carry the green dot? I think you try to do that. I hope they fucking try to do that. Finally, we've been begging for it for the last few seasons. So absolutely, Kenny, you're absolutely right in that aspect. Or you go out and get a guy that's fucking proven, another veteran that this guy can handle the defense. He's gonna fucking carry the green dot for us.
So Corey Littleton is on your radar.
Yeah,
if you bring in Corey Littleton, you can still play Lee and Moreau, and you'll be all right, in my opinion. That's just me. If you don't plan on bringing Burfict back, go after Littleton. Go after Littleton.
To me, I like Lee, and I hope that he panned out. But to me, Lee has shown less than Morrow. Lee has shown
been
us
hurt, bro.
he has,
Lee
but
has
that's
been hurt.
but that's part of the
This
problem.
dude,
But
did
he's
you watch
also
him in college. This dude can play. He can play line. He's
I
a
know, bro.
linebacker,
That's
true
but that but,
NFL linebacker.
but that's what I was high. That's why I was high on him. But he's actually costing us money versus Morrow, who isn't. He's an undrafted fucking guy. And Lee was drafted. He was what? He was a third, fourth round pick.
A fourth round pick.
Yeah. So
fourth round.
So yeah, if it comes to like, okay, we have two guys that have injury prone histories, and we both got them here. They're both young guys, and they both have shown some potential. Who am I going to carry with me further? I'm going to carry the guy that costs me less.
I'd rather bring back Compton and Jordan, even in their older age. Re-sign Markel Lee. Wish Nicholas Morrow the best of luck. If Burfict wants to come back at a reduced rate and be a coach and a mentor, do that. Attack free agency and to bring in a name in free agency. Those are the guys I would rather have back. I would rather at this point have some veteran leadership in that linebacker room than these young guys that show potential but can't play 16 fucking games in a season.
But can
I
we
don't
agree
want
that you want to carry at least one of them?
I'd rather bring Lee back only because he has the experience. In the
Okay,
system.
well, you want to carry at least one of them,
God.
right? We can agree on that. You want to carry one of these young guys because
yeah, but I don't want to count on any of them.
No, I don't want to count on them either. I'm not saying count on them. I'm not saying count on
any of them.
But I'm saying you see what they've brought to your attention at least. You've seen them perform in instances, and if you're saying like we need to have fucking youth, we need to have youth on our side. We can't just fucking put all our fucking, we can't just put all of
At
our
this point, man, we might
trust
as well
into
say
veterans.
Jonathan Abrams is injury prone. I mean, y'all listen to what y'all saying. We might as well say Jonathan Abrams, don't bring him back because he get injured.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's not true,
Injuries,
bro.
Fellas,
That doesn't make any
is a
sense.
part of the game.
No, you're absolutely right, but that doesn't work, bro, because you're talking about Markel Lee going in his third year, Morrow going in his third year, and they've both been injured in all seasons that they've played.
Every year that they've played.
Yeah.
Abram played one game and got hurt. He's not.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying that. I don't know where that's coming from. That's sorry, but that's a cold take. That's not what I'm saying.
All right,
Not at all.
that's just me being funny, but I'm just saying, like, come on, fellas, for real. All right, but whatever, it's cool. I like the linebacker.
I mean, if you feel good,
and,
rolling Lee, Burfict, and Morrow back out there again, this defense was 24th in points allowed this year. If you feel like rolling the dice and putting these guys back out there again is the answer, fine. But I disagree with you. We can do better at every single linebacker position on this team, hands down.
I agree.
You cannot argue with that.
Tell me, name me three linebackers that you could bring in right now today that's going to step in at Gunther. Not that Kenny and Che is going to accept as coaches, but Gunther is going to accept as coach because these coaches that we have, they only fuck with really like veterans at the most important
I could give you that answer mid-March once extensions have ended. Once guys really hit free agency, I can give you that answer. But I'm talking about guys that were on this team this year that are up for free agency that we have a chance to re-sign right now. I will tell you, I will not be mad if they all walk. But as far as guys we're going to bring in, I can't give you that answer until mid-March, until extensions have passed and these guys have had a chance to re-sign with their squads. I can't give you that answer right now. I can't. But I can tell you right now, the guys we have a chance to sign are not the answer. They're the answer for depth.
I just think
these guys are not starters.
I think all we need is a quarterback. I don't feel like that. I really, honestly don't feel, okay, we need depth. That's cool. But I feel like the development of the guys that we have, yes, they're injured. But if they keep them healthy, you know what I'm saying, they are serviceable, more than serviceable, good linebackers. You add a middle linebacker to that, somebody that quarterbacks a defense that you need, like a Burfict. You're going to get a whole lot better play from your linebackers. It's all about the middle of the defense. And the middle of the defense, when I say middle, I mean just that quarterback, the person that with the green dot, like y'all say, that's who we need. Because when we lost that's when the whole defense kind of flustered. With serviceable linebackers and a top-notch middle linebacker, somebody that can run the defense, we were okay.
Yeah,
6-4.
But you know what, man?
I'm just saying.
I have to agree with Kenny to this point that I don't see what can we base saying that we have a 3 linebacking starting core off of? We can't base it off of anything, man, because these guys haven't been there.
You can base it off of 6 and 4. When we played Indy, look at the Indianapolis game when you had everybody healthy on defense.
Right, but that's
You
one
can base
game,
it off
dog.
of
You
that.
can't base long-term situations off of one game performance. That's crazy.
Why can't you?
Because it's one game, bruh. It's
But
one
that's
game.
your
You have
whole
to see.
But that's your team. That's your roster.
But
on
bro,
the field. That's the team you fielded. That's the team you said in
Yeah,
your mind
you
as
did.
the defensive
But
coordinator.
listen.
that this my defense right here.
So you're
This is what I'm running with.
telling me as long as one player performs in one game, you're gonna roll with him and call it consistency?
I'm saying as a whole, as after 10 games, the team was 6 and 4 with the defense the way it was before Burfict left out.
Yeah,
That's
bro,
what I'm
but that
saying.
shit was
saying after 10 games, nobody was complaining.
But that
about
shit
the
was
linebackers.
rotating. No, fuck that. We were complaining about the linebackers. There hasn't been a point where we haven't complained
Yeah,
about
we've
the
been
linebackers.
complaining about the linebackers for years. But
Come
I'm
on,
just
dog.
saying.
I don't know, man. I'm not seeing it. You're talking about youth. Perfect is over the hill. You got a guy in Morrow who's an undrafted linebacker that has not lived up to potential. He's had 3 years now. He's going to be going into that. And you got a guy, Markel Lee, who's a 4th-round pick that can't stay healthy through 16 games. These guys do not make me feel confident. I'm sorry. That's the last I'm going to say about the linebackers. If you guys want to debate this until midnight tonight, I'm going to get out of the way and let you talk about it. But I will tell you right now, the linebacking squad we have in place is not the answer. And I'm sorry. I disagree. It's going to take more than one linebacker to
I agree.
work out the woes that we have in the middle of the field.
I
That's
agree.
all I have to say about the linebacking
This
squad.
is the last thing I want to say about it is that if at most right now, based off the production that we've seen from this linebacking core, the 2 young guys that we're talking about, at most their depth, because we haven't seen enough from them to call them starters, dog. I'm sorry, I can't say you roll these 3 guys out. No, I can't say that. I say you try to keep one of them. If you keep both of them, cool. But at most they're depth right now because they have not proven that they are the guy. Not to me at least.
Give me somebody better in free agency then, because you ain't gonna draft three fresh linebackers.
No,
So
of
let's
course
move on.
not.
Yeah, let's move on, because I mean I love y'all, but we ain't gonna agree with this shit. So it's all good.
That's all right. We ain't supposed to agree with each other, bro. That's
No, hell no.
Fuck that.
Hey, you know how we do it. Shit.
All right, talk about youth. 24 years old, plays tackle. His name's David Sharp. Is he coming back?
Oh,
All right, I'll give you some other names.
Oh
You-
man, run that question by me again.
You said you're all about the youth movement. David Sharp. He's 24 years old. He's an unrestricted free
Yes.
agent. He plays tackle.
Yes.
Bring him back.
Bring him back.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
no.
There we go again.
Fuck that guy, man.
I say bring him back only because tackles, it's hard to find.
Well,
and,
yeah, and size at that size, but fuck, man, come on now. I seen David Sharp get his ass beat too many times, but I mean, who's the other guy? Brandon Parker.
You know who didn't
Like
see
they're
it?
they're the exact same guy.
You know who didn't see it?
Who?
David Sharp.
Oh, that's
cold.
cold. Ooh, that was a low blow
I
right
said, wait,
there.
who went by me right now? Who was that? I don't know if that was 95, 96.
All right, here's 2 questions. The first one, we're not getting into the Carr thing again. Let me set that rule. We will not mention Derek Carr in this discussion. But your backups, Mike Glennon and Nathan Peterman, are both free agents.
Okay.
Nathan Peterman's been stashed on IR all season, and we saw what Glennon looked like in a real NFL game this year. So are you bringing either of those guys back? I want to be mad to see a little bit more Peterman experimentation in the offseason, but Glennon's not the dude.
Glennon.
And I'm going against what I said in the preseason.
Glennon is
Hey,
gone,
man,
bro. Fuck that guy.
Go ahead, Jay.
No,
Go ahead, bro.
I didn't like Glennon from the get-go. I said, get that motherfucker off my squad
Yeah,
immediately.
You did.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Get that long neck motherfucker out of here. I'm cool. I didn't like him when he played for Tampa Bay.
Bro, I'm cool
You know
with
what I'm
him,
saying?
bro.
I
Like,
don't know why the fuck John Gruden talking. John Gruden is a weirdo quarterback liking motherfucker. I don't get this shit, but whatever. Yeah, nah, I'm cool.
honestly, I
I'm
just
cool on the Glennon.
I think Gruden just kept him on the squad so he could keep fucking up his name and call him Glennon.
Glennon.
He was
Glennon.
gonna call that motherfucker Glenn on until that nigga won 2 or 3 games. He wasn't gonna be Glenn until he won 2 or 3 games. He was gonna have to win a couple games before he get his name right.
Oh, man. Facts, dog. Facts. Yeah, well, he's never going to get his name right because that motherfucker ain't ever going to win no goddamn games for us, man. To get that motherfucker off our squad, because the last guy I want to see coming off the bench if our starting quarterback goes down is Mike Glennon. Get that guy out of here, man.
All right.
Our less than elite starting quarterback to the car stands out there. But, yeah, our quarterback.
Is it and it's so I guess it comes down to Kaiser and Peterman. Which one of those guys do you bring back just to be a body? Essentially a body.
Kaiser.
Well, I think you're going to see both these motherfuckers in training camp.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see them both in training camp. And if we do draft the quarterback, then obviously one of them is going to be an expense.
I mean, the fact that Nathan Peterman's got Gruden's lipstick all over his DVDs tells me Peterman's probably going to be back. Okay.
Peterman will be back, but if we draft a starter, listen, I think we do draft a quarterback, and I don't want to this year. We draft a quarterback. So it don't even fucking matter. You could bring back fucking what's the motherfucking name from the Bills? The dude on the fucking Wheaties box. You can bring homeboy Doug Flutie. You can bring him back, and it don't matter because they ain't gonna be the number 2 or the number 1 quarterback because Derek Carr is gonna be here in 2020 for sure. And then if we do draft a quarterback, he's going to sit behind Derek Carr until Derek Carr fucks up, which eventually he will. So, it don't matter about them 2 guys, man. They really don't. They have dropped.
Yeah, no,
without somebody even being drafted.
Absolutely. Those guys, I think we can all agree. Like, we don't ever see them becoming Gruden's guy. I don't see Peterman or Deshaun Kaiser ever becoming the guy.
Fucking Mechanic.
Glennon Mechanic is actually gone. He's gone forever, bro. But those guys are never gonna fucking become the guy. They're exactly what they are. They're backups for life. If that, they're lucky if they get to be backups, man.
Backups and coaches. And probable coaches because you got coached up by John Gruden.
Yeah, assistant coaches, right?
Pretty much it.
So another free agent, special teams player. Bit of a rough road down the stretch. Daniel Carlson.
Yeah, Daniel Carlson is done, in my opinion.
She's over here laughing at Mechanic.
Daniel Carlson has missed so many important fucking field goals this year. Y'all can't get it right. You should have just kept Janikowski and said, you know what, let's just bring in somebody and just train them behind them. Because Janikowski right now today probably would have made more field goals than Carlson missed. So I'm just saying,
Yeah, you're right.
No.
But
it's time to bring in another kicker.
But do you trust Seabass to stay on it when he's in Vegas, though? Because I see Seabass like fucking gaining an extra 30, 40 pounds. Just partied. Just partied hard, dog.
Man. At this point, he's better than what we got right now. That's for sure.
Well, I think we talked about this a few episodes back, and I think Gruden and company, they'll bring in competition. I don't think they're just gonna cut Carlson. They're gonna definitely have him in a battle in camp. I think they won't draft a kicker, dog. We've already gone that route. We already drafted a kicker.
No, I'm saying in free agency. I'm saying in undrafted free agent.
Well, this is
can get a kicker.
No, yeah, this
is undrafted free agent.
This is what I said. I said I think they would they would go after some of these other guys that had been prior high draft picks. Okay, so there's a lot of motherfuckers that didn't pan out. They got drafted early in a couple years back, and they were supposed to be the answer at kicker, and they just fucking failed. Like, they just didn't pan out, got cut after a season or two. So I think you bring in some of these dudes. Hopefully they've been working, honing their skills, and they've been trying to get over the fucking hiccups, because I think a lot of it with a lot of these guys that
but
don't
you
pan
know
out,
what,
is
though?
mentality.
League wide, and if you look at it, field goals ain't for sure like they used to be. Field goals, kickers, all league wide have been, and you know, Che, you play fantasy football.
Yeah.
You know, from playing fantasy football, you learn a lot. Kickers league wide ain't been doing just spectacular. It's like three or four of them motherfuckers that you could really just be like, this is the man. Out of 32 teams, you got like 4 kickers that's like, this the man.
But listen,
So, league wide, kicker is not really important to teams anymore. I just don't see it unless you're a team that you're gonna need the field goal to help you win games. If you're a team that scores touchdowns after touchdown like Kansas City or Baltimore or whatever, you don't really need a kick. You're not really, your kicker is not of your importance.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
I would say this, man. I would say this. I wouldn't go as far I wouldn't go as far as saying that they're not important, because I think you need to at least have some consistency. They don't have to be the best fucking kicker in the league, but they at least need to fucking make chip shots, and they need to be able to fucking, come through when it is needed. 30 yard, you shouldn't be missing fucking 20, 30-yard field goals. Can we agree on that?
But you don't see a lot of 50 and 54-yard field goals.
No,
like
absolutely. But the problem is that we see a lot of guys missing 33, 35, under 40-yard field goals, and you can't have that. Those should be given.
You see motherfuckers missing extra points.
That's what I'm saying.
Motherfuckers don't even make extra points now.
Exactly. So you want to have a guy that's consistent.
Your Jeff Jagers and your Janikowskis and your Vinatieri's, and that shit's gone.
But listen,
there's no one like that out there.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Right
so because we have a question mark in Carlson, I think you bring in some of these guys that didn't pan out. Whatever, the pressure was too high when they came into the league, and you give them another shot. Because with kickers, it's all mental, dog. Like, the majority of the issues that kickers have nothing to do with physicality. Because what do we really ask these motherfuckers to do? Swing your goddamn leg and get the ball through the uprights. It has really little to do with mechanics or strength or whatever, athleticism.
It's all about pressure.
It's all
when
about,
it comes to a kicker.
It's all about how they deal with pressure, and it's all about how they process mentally. And some of these motherfuckers just get into their head, and they all goes to shit. So a lot of these guys that didn't pan out early, it's not because they don't have the leg talent. It's because mentally something happened where shit just went sideways, and people cut them loose real early. So bring these assholes that just couldn't cut it in their first season. Bring them in and let them gain a little confidence. Maybe they beat out a guy in tryouts or fucking practice in the off season in the summer, and then all of a sudden they run into this season with some confidence. That's really all these guys need. They just need a little confidence going in, and they can get on a streak. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would promote. I would say go after some guys that maybe they were guys that people reached for. Maybe they were saying, like, this guy's the number 1 kicker coming out of college. Let's get this guy. Bring him in here and have him compete with Carlson. One thing's going to happen. A fire's going to be lit under Carlson's ass. He's either going to have to pull it together and get back on track and give us a little bit of what we saw last season, or this guy that used to be a high draft pick that was somebody that everybody saw coming out of college might actually turn his shit around and make a team this time. That's all I'm saying.
Let's do that, but let's not call them assholes yet. Okay.
I call them whatever I want.
I know you do.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I agree with you. I think Carlson.
He's right though. He makes sense, because it kind of like speaks to what I'm saying. It's like, if you're willing to bring a guy off the streets to try to, then kicker is not of the importance of your team. Kicker was, let's go back to when we drafted Janikowski. We was like, what, 8-8, and we lost like, what, 7 games by, what, 7 points or some shit like that. So we was like, oh, okay, those 7 points, all we needed was our field goal kicker to make a couple field goals, and we would have won the game. Yeah. Then you go out and you draft a kicker. And then what did the Raiders do? And we all, as fans, said, yes, we need to draft a kicker. It was stupid looking, but at the end of the day, Janikowski is a Hall of Fame kicker. So with that being said, when you in that position to where you are losing games by that close amount of points, and you need like that's important to you, you go out and draft one early. But if it's not something that's going to help you win games right now, yeah, bring guys in off the street. Kickers, to me, at this day and stage of the game, is not important. Quarterbacks are scoring touchdowns like fire, and they not just driving down to the 40-yard line to kick a 50-yard field goal. The game has changed. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think DC comes back, but now without competition. So let's leave that right there. You know,
I like how you did. I like how you framed that.
Daniel Carlson.
I like how you framed that, bro.
Damn, almost broke my own rule. I'm looking at this list right now. I mean, there's some names on here. We've already talked about Washington, though. Compton was included in our linebacker discussion. A lot of these other guys right here, kind of negligible for now. We got a lot of time between, now when free agency officially starts. So let's leave this conversation right here. It's been a good conversation.
Yeah.
There's been some ups and downs. There's been some good debates. I like it. I like where we're at right now. Let's leave this alone. We gave our predictions for next week. I feel like we need to do a pillaging Super Bowl party, though. If not this year, next year. We need to, or be a part of somebody's. Like, does Ricky's have a Super Bowl party? Can we go do a broadcast over there? Can we hook up with somebody? Nump, hit me up. Nump, I know you got the party on lock. Where's the Pillaging Podcast going to be on Super Bowl Sunday? We need to discuss that off the air.
Yeah.
So we can tell these folks where we're going to be at.
I like that.
Then I'm tired of going to these whack-ass Niner fan Super Bowl parties and shit where everybody's at the table
if it's a
and
fucking
run into
Niner
the kitchen.
Super Bowl, I ain't going to no fucking Super Bowl party.
We'll do a Raiders Super Bowl party where all we do is throw shit at the television.
If it's the Chiefs and the Niners, I ain't even fucking with that shit. And I mean that from the bottom of my nut sack. I am not fucking with a Chief and Niner Super Bowl. I will go do some other shit. I ain't fucking fuck that.
And when Kane says the bottom of his nutsack, he's that's a long way down there, man. Kane had to switch to Velcro shoes this year because the shit's keep getting wrapped up. So it's down there, bro. And I'm entering that club. I'll be fucking teabagging the toilet bowl in the morning. I'll be like, whoa.
You motherfuckers don't watch the Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. Are y'all serious?
Throw my nuts over my shoulder in the morning before I take a shit. I'm like, get out the way.
No, seriously. Are y'all gonna watch a
nobody likes shitty
49ers
balls,
Super Bowl?
I'll watch it. It'll be a good game, but I'm not gonna be happy about it.
No, I mean,
I'm gonna be faded. I'm gonna be blasted.
If you're asking that if we care what the outcome is, absolutely not, because we're gonna be upset about whoever wins that fucking Super Bowl. We're gonna be like, well, fuck yeah, I wanted that team to lose, but I also wanted the other motherfucker to lose too.
But how do you watch a game and not have fun? You just don't sit there and watch the motherfucking game?
Alcohol cures all,
fun.
dog.
Who you gonna be happy for? Who you gonna be happy if Nick Bosa sacked Patrick Mahomes? You should be happy to the motherfucker. And if Frank Clark sacked Jimmy Garoppolo,
Gary Garoppolo.
So how you gonna fucking support a Super Bowl? You don't even got a team that you care about.
Shay, I've been watching the Patriots.
I don't want to see no red Super Bowl.
I've been watching the Patriots Super Bowl every year for the last
That's true
150 years.
And I hate those motherfuckers.
I don't give a shit, man. As long as the food's good. I'm telling you, the last Niners Super Bowl, I had a bunch of Niner fans in my house.
Yeah.
It ended with me saying, y'all need to get the fuck out of my house because they got too drunk and they weren't acting right. And they said, then they got right. They were like, well, we're going to go to the bar. Do you want to meet us at the bar? I was like, yeah, I'll meet you at the bar. They left. I ordered my ass a pizza, sat down and drank the rest of my beer. I never went to the bar.
Hey, the record scratched, and Kenny said, get the fuck out. The record scratched.
He came out from behind the fucking DJ booth like fucking Bilal in House Party. He said,
Eddie Murphy trading places.
If you don't get the fuck over there, I'm going to kick your fucking heart out.
Partying downstairs in his house. That motherfucker came downstairs and get the fuck out.
Get out. Get out. I told him, get out. And they were like, yeah, we'll get out.
Now, listen, I mean, it's the Super Bowl, bro. Everybody watches the game. Most of us got most of us put money in on not necessarily betting on the team, but we get in on that what do they call that shit when you
squares?
Yeah, you pick the boxes.
Who you gonna vote for at the office pool? Who you gonna vote for? The
What do you mean?
Chiefs? You gonna do that to your Raider fan brethren?
Bro, I don't
you
do
gonna
that
vote
shit.
For the Niners
No.
and do that to your Raider fan brethren?
No.
What you gonna do?
No, bro.
I'm
So
just
this is how it works, dog. Okay, I'm a Raider fan, just like you, Kane, and I hate everybody else's guts. So I'm not looking forward to anybody else fucking winning the Super Bowl. But if I can make a little fucking change and put it in my pocket, well, fucking bring it on, son. So if they put out that grid and they say buy a couple boxes, what's the score going to be at fucking first quarter, second quarter, fucking third quarter at the end of the game? If I got a chance to make some money, you fucking right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be right there, dog. I'm going to buy
Now,
2-3 boxes.
Now me, I'm different, Che. I'm a Raider fan to the toenails, but at the same time, I admire good play from players. And I know me and you have talked about this on the chat, and we disagree. But if it would have been the Texans, or even if the Titans make it, there's going to be a player that I'm going to say, oh, you know what, I'd like to see that motherfucker get a Super Bowl ring, because my team ain't in it. They wasn't in it. They didn't even make the playoffs. So I can't hate on everybody. I'm not saying that you are or anybody else is. I'm saying that if it wasn't the Chiefs or the 49ers, then I got players that I would like to see do their thing. You
No, I
working,
get that.
you do your thing, bro.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
But as far as them two teams, I don't want to see neither one of them motherfucking teams win or get a ring.
Neither
no
do I.
way, no how, especially the Chiefs.
Neither do I.
I'll give you the hard
deal with
answer.
the 49ers getting the Super Bowl.
I'll
I
give
can
you-
deal with that.
I'll give you the hard
But
answer.
The Chiefs,
I'll give you the hard answer.
I don't want to see
No.
the Chiefs win a
No,
Super Bowl.
I'm gonna give you the
but I ain't
tough
gonna
answer.
root for the 49ers to win either, though. You know what I'm
Go.
saying? So
Go,
for
Kenny.
me, I would rather have been like the Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to have seen Marshawn Lynch get another ring, Russell Wilson do his thing. I'd like to have seen Deshaun Watson,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, get a ring, or something like that. Or Lamar Jackson come out in his rookie year and go to the AFC Championship, maybe not make it, but go that far in your rookie year, or your second year, shit like that. But what do you, when you're looking at if you're looking at the Chiefs and the 49ers, I mean, you don't even have that. It's like, why am I watching this game? Because I don't give a fuck if neither one of these motherfuckers win.
I'll tell you
I hope
why.
Both y'all
I'll tell
motherfuckers
you why.
each other's quarterbacks
I will
just
tell
be
you
all
why.
game, all year. All game.
Listen,
You know
dog.
what I'm saying? Like,
No one's disagreeing with you, dog. No one disagrees with you. Yeah, we would all like to see any other fucking team but those motherfuckers.
I'll give you a hot take
in
right
the
now.
fucking Super Bowl.
I'll give you a hot take right now.
Go, give me the hot take, dog.
Just to be clear,
I'm
I'm
gonna
not-
get this fucking button on.
Just to be clear, I'm not
lock.
rooting for anybody.
No, absolutely not. I never
But
root
if-
for anybody.
If it's a Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl, I would rather. No, hold on to your seats. I'd rather the Chiefs win because I got to go to work with 49er fans.
Oh,
If I had to,
I do too.
it's pretty
With a-
fucking annoying.
I
with a
work
gun
in
to my
San
head,
Francisco.
if I had to give you an answer, that's why. Because you know what?
Because we don't live in KC, and that's the only place that
How-
Chiefs fans beat.
How many Lombardis? How many Lombardis do the Chiefs have?
Right.
Now, for my man Jen,
None.
he may disagree. He wants to see the whole thing.
Jim's like, fuck, somebody drop a goddamn
Yeah.
bomb
Hey,
on that
hold
stadium.
on now. We just got monetized. Don't fuck it up. Okay. If I had to with a gun to my head, that's what I would say, and that's why. But let's get off that. It sucks. We're not in the Super Bowl this year. I would much rather see like Green Bay or somebody represent, because at least I could root for them a little bit because of my family. But
Right.
and they're-
But you know what? I'm glad we gave our listeners that little bit of a conversation, because that goes far to show like the people, because I see on Twitter a lot of people saying, oh, the 49ers, and Raider fans, I can't fucking believe it. Raider fans like, oh, the 49ers, this, that, if they win, I'm good with that. Like,
Hell
no, motherfucker,
Hell no.
we not good with that shit out here. You heard us. You heard us right here on the podcast.
Nah,
we
fuck
don't
both
like
those
the
guys.
fucking 49ers here in the Bay Area.
Fuck those
We
teams,
don't
man.
fucking want to see
The
a
fan-
49er in the Super Bowl.
their fans are insufferable.
So
But anyways,
I'm glad we had that conversation, guys.
yeah.
It was good for the listeners.
Yeah.
Real good for the out-of-state listeners.
we got to know. It's a real
Yeah.
thing. And I think it will continue to be a real thing. Because every Niner fan that approaches me is like, what are you going to do when the Raiders move to Vegas? I'm going to root for the Raiders. Are you moving there?
Get the fuck out of here, dumb shit.
Did you move to San Francisco? Did you just move to San Jose?
Did you move to Santa Clara, motherfucker?
Did you move to Santa Clara?
Silicon Valley?
Come on.
Hell no.
And you
Did
know
you
what?
move to Great America Parkway? Because that's where y'all play. On Great America Parkway, not 49er Parkway.
And you know what?
Man, get the fuck out of here.
Vegas is more of a California city than it is a Nevada city anyways.
No, you're absolutely right. about
Vegas is an extension of California. I meet so many good folks from California that live there now, transplants, people visiting. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with rooting for the Raiders right where I'm at here in the South Bay. I hope you guys do well in Vegas. Kane.
It's like they never left.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Kane, it's been great talking to you, man. This is a hell of a conversation. I'll catch up with you tomorrow, dog.
Hell yeah.
Get some rest.
Yeah, for sure, man. It was good talking to y'all. I catch up with y'all tomorrow, next week, whenever, bro.
All right,
Can't
man.
wait. It's been good.
Get some rest, dog.
Peace.
Peace out, brother.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat on the bone there. Shout out to Mecha Neck Glennon, bro. Just tweeted that one out. Hey, man, I think that's it for the show. Well, actually, no, we got to get into these calls. My bad.
Get
We got
into
to get
these
into
calls, dog. Let's get into these calls.
Just a handful, so hang in there, folks. Let's go to the 561.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, fellas, what's up, man?
What
This
up?
is Omar from the 561.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm cracking up, bro, because y'all cut my call off last week, and frankly, I'm cool. I'm a self-scouter, so I know when I make a mistake. But I was fucked up, and
Okay, Omar's got the energy this week.
Yeah.
We're gonna let him rock.
Hell
I
yeah.
sounded fucked up on that call. Man, Granddaddy Purple and the fucking Woodford Reserve had me twisted.
Oh yeah, he's on that heavy indica and that bourbon. That'll do it, brother.
I actually called to talk about bourbon because you pulled up that bottle of bourbon, Kenny, and I was like, fuck, that's what I've been drinking all day. So, that cut me off rightfully because I didn't bring the energy, and you know what? Fuck it. I deserved it, so I appreciate you checking me. But in all seriousness, man,
That's all love, bro.
I hope you guys have a really nice off season. Obviously I'll be calling a lot throughout
Good.
as things happen within the Raider Nation. I expect a lot of transactions, but I think the hot button, the one that everybody wants to talk about, is Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Kane, man. You ride with that motherfucker in 2020, but something's got to give, right? We're going to have to play some chips. I don't necessarily agree with giving away the farm for Trevor Lawrence because, frankly, I don't think we'll get to that point where we can actually get him. But I wouldn't be opposed to giving away a little bit, to get into a better position to draft an impact player at quarterback at some point, whether this year or next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, all's good. I appreciate you cutting me off one more time. I'll make sure to bring the fucking energy going forward. That you can absolutely count on.
Good.
Once again, this is Omar from the 561 West Palm Beach, Raider Nation. I'm out, man. You guys take care.
Yeah, Omar.
That was a great call, Omar. He was right up
Hell
against
yeah.
the time deadline, and it did not feel like it. It was like a Quentin Tarantino movie of phone calls. It was long, didn't feel like it, kept it crisp, kept it moving. Regarding Lawrence, I mean, just to reset this take, we're not going into it right now.
Yeah.
It's just going to take a lot in 2021 to go get him. Right now, that QB draft class looks to drop off significantly after Lawrence. So that means, his value is even that much more. To get to Lawrence next year, we're going to have to trade one, I won't say both, but at least one of our first-round picks this year for collateral and stock moving into 2021. You're going to have to trade that in to get more back moving forward. I don't see this team doing that, but yeah, man, I agree with everything that you said, and that was a great call. Way to bounce back, Omar. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Yeah.
Berserko wants us to talk about the national championship game tomorrow. To be honest, Berserko, we would love to. We'll probably be talking about that game after it happens, though. Che and I don't get to watch enough college football. I will be working probably through most of that game. I hope to catch a replay of it late tomorrow night, and we'll break it down afterwards. There's a lot of talent to scout in that game.
I'll be watching, man, because I think
Take notes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The thing that we've been trying to do a lot more of as seasons have gone by, as we've been doing this show, is we realize we got to have our nose to the TV screen when it comes to these college games, especially when we're talking about these playoffs. Well, we're talking about these bowl games. So I've started to pick up a lot more of these bowl games of late. So I will be tuned into that shit, whether it's on my phone or on TV, because, you know, the Munchkin got to get her TV time, bro. She got to get her cartoons in, and I can't interrupt that shit, bro.
When you said nose to the TV,
Yeah, man.
I thought of my friend Brad, who, God bless his soul, is legally blind. When he watches my TV, his nose is literally pressed up against that. And then afterwards, there'll be these little, like, distorted little dots of moisture on my TV. I'm like, bro, dude, blow your nose before you come watch TV. I'm like, you be rubbing your fucking snots and mocos all over my fucking 47-inch TV, bro.
What do you say? What did they say?
Chill. Let's go to the 360.
No, shout out, Berserko.
That was a good one. Let's go to the 360. This is a two-parter.
Kenny J. Kane, Brother Wasabi. What's up, baby? This is P. How we doing? Anywho, so I got to tell you guys something. I was a little distant, didn't get to call in last week, and haven't really finished up the episode, but I'm on the Nessie Award section of awarding Richie Incognito with the most underrated Raider of 2019. And, baby, I agree with you. No doubt.
Yeah.
So if this episode is about free agents, what I got to say is this. I am a number one fan. I am a number one fan. I'm a number one everything. Bring Cujo back. Unless we got to pay him premium, supreme free safety money, I think we can get the guy in, rake him in at about $8 million a year. Another thing I'll add about free agency, and this is my defense, and I know not everyone's a big fan. Watch a lot of hardcore Raider lately, shout out. Then watch a lot of Watts Raider lately, shout out. And I got to say this about my man Curtis Riley. Why I think we should bring Curtis Riley back is, as an L7 on special teams and as a dude that's a flanker on punts, he got it done this year. He did his thing, and I love it. That's what's up. Like, that's like, if we can get Curtis Riley on the cheap, I don't think he's going to start at safety anywhere else. And, like, who doesn't want to go to Vegas? Anywho, so free agent prospects, I got to say this. So as I've stated before, I'm a resident of the Northwest, and I got something to say, even though about Jadeveon Clowney. And my man, he just got hurt watching this game, but I got to tell you something. I pay attention to the press, pay attention to local sports radio, do whatever. And I got to say this, Seattle don't want to pay him. We're talking about adding more defensive linemen. I'm a Clowney fan. I'm for it all day. And then, if I'm Mike Mayock, situation number one to help out Josh Jacobs is I'm taking a Safeway bag with 3 cash signs on it, loaded with $100 bills, and slamming my phone up against it when I call Derrick Henry's agent. Because I'm sorry, like we really should invest in saving, our guy, Josh Jacobs, making it better. And I'm all for plussing up the run game. And another thing, this is about draft, and I can't wait to get in draft season. I'm a draft nerd. I'll do a live call-in. Hit me up anytime. But what I'm saying is this, we've been complaining about linebackers for a few years, and did I get really mad when we drafted Cleveland Farrell instead of Josh Allen or Devin White? Yeah, I did. But here's the whole deal. The Isaiah Simmons cat out of Clemson. Watch the national championship game. Just watch it for me. And I'm going to tell you right now, my man who wears number 11 for Clemson is about to bolster himself up to a top 5 pick. And this is some little podcast listening, little I have no life, I'm a Bachelor Raiders fan type info that I've
it's not over. He was on one. Let's go.
Google lady done got me again. Kenny Che Kane, Brother Wasabi, what's up, Pillagers? This is Pete. Anywho, so what I was saying about the Isaiah Simmons cat that plays, he's a hybrid safety outside linebacker as I view him. And in my Raider brain, preparing for draft and watching college football, not only do we need a linebacker, but we could use someone like him, and we could also, use to re-sign Carl Joseph. So what I was saying, though, like from what I've gathered through listening, is that the Giants, who currently pick at number 3, are desperate to get more picks because they don't have any. They're about to lose Leonard Williams, who they traded for with the Jets, who
go back to his USC career. Trey might have a little intel on this, but when he was coming out of the draft, the year that we drafted Amari Cooper, he so much as said that he really wanted to be a Raider. Now, kicking myself in the ass for, not being Reggie McKenzie and making that pick, but that could happen. Number 2 is this. That guy is so good. Isaiah Simmons, fits a need, would take away 2 worries that we have on defense. From run support and protecting tight ends. I'm going to throw this out, y'all. I'll trade 2 third-round picks in my 12th round, in my number 12 pick to move up and take that cat. Because Lord knows after a couple quarterbacks, and probably all pretty sure 2 is going to the Dolphins, and that the Herbert kid that, you never intel that, John Gruden liked him. I mean, like the Herbert guy that plays for Oregon, we
never said
no
that.
previous speakings of this at all.
It's never happened.
But what I'm saying is this, why not trade up for a linebacker if a guy can revolutionize your defense, and if we can pick 19, I'm down for it. I'm not saying give up 30, but I'll offer you number 12 and 2 third-round picks. You'll get a linebacker that could make my defense better. After that, my wish list goes Derrick Henry, Jadeveon Clowney, Carl Joseph, Michael Kendrick to the Seahawks, Danny Trevathan, and go get me a corner. I don't want to draft a corner. Go pay somebody, whether it's Roby, whether it's Harris from the Broncos. I don't care. But those are my thoughts, man. See y'all at 7 tonight or whenever y'all are on. Thanks for having me on. Take it easy. This is Pete.
Hell yeah, Pete. Oh, so Michael Kendricks was the Kendricks you were speaking of, bro.
From Seattle.
Seattle's linebacker. Okay.
All right. And Clowney's a Raider for sure. Like, I'd like to see that. But he's fitting in really well over there in Seattle, so I don't know if they let him get away. Solid phone calls right there, Pete. Lots to digest. Really, the big takeaway there is Isaiah Simmons. If you're not going to go quarterback at the top of the draft, absolutely, let's move up and get Isaiah Simmons. I'm actually really not going to be able to watch the game live tomorrow, but that's the guy who's my eyes are going to be on Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I mean, listen, again, if you tuned into this show the last few seasons, where the guys have been telling you, yeah, please grab a fucking linebacker. Please. We want one of those guys. It'd be nice to get a stud at linebacker. So, absolutely. We're going to be all for that too. But, unfortunately, history has shown us that every single time that we ask for that, we don't get it.
Yeah.
So, maybe if we ask for something different, we might we might actually get linebacker, dog.
I didn't get a Super Nintendo until I stopped asking for Nintendos. And I got a Super Nintendo. I
didn't get a Nintendo until I wanted a Genesis.
Yeah.
Here goes your Nintendo, dog.
God damn it. Solid call there, Pete. And Pete says he's willing to do a live call-in for draft stuff. So, Pete, I'm going to take you up on that, and you're going to be our draft guru this year. Get ready, bro. Get ready. 760. Let's move.
What's up, guys?
By the way, Pete Nesty Award winner, best caller of the year.
That's right.
That's how I'd say that.
That's right.
Good job. And that's why.
WAP.
Yep.
Well, Chiefs won again. What can you say?
Fuck them.
I mean, Texans fucked that shit up. You know what I'm getting tired of? I'm getting tired of seeing quarterbacks make plays. Makes me not like Derek Carr even more. It's pretty embarrassing, really. I mean, I've seen high school kids that do better in the quarterback position than Derek Carr, and yet it's really pathetic to see how many people still back Carr up. You know, I thought cocaine was a bad drug. I thought heroin was a really bad drug. But Derek Carr has turned into a drug, and some of y'all motherfuckers are clearly delusional. You're high on Derek Carr, and it's disgusting and it's sad. You need some help. Go to a rehab. Get some help, because this shit is ridiculous. There is no way in hell that Derek Carr is better than Mahomes. It's not happening. Derek Carr is not better than any quarterback right now. I'd take Paxton Lynch over Derek Carr. He's garbage. I mean, there's nothing else to say. We have 6 years of evidence. You know, if he was a bad guy and we have evidence to prove that he did the crime. I mean, there's people trying to justify him as a good quarterback. You can't do it. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just sad. It really is. Life goes on. I just moved out of California and to a colder region, and I'm starting to get used to it, but I'm not used to the cold. I don't like cold weather, but fuck, man, it's 32 degrees out here. This is ridiculous. Other than that, you guys have a good weekend. You know, I'm looking forward to the Titans. I want the Titans to win. I don't really care about anyone else, really. I've become a Ryan Tannehill fan. I don't know why. I just see him as a better quarterback, and I want him on the Raiders. Probably not going to happen, but oh well. Wapo out. You guys have a good one. Peace.
Hot takes. Hot takes by Wapo. By Wapo, my bad. I hit the wrong one.
That Paxton Lynch comment had me in my feelings.
Yeah, I had me in my feelings too.
But, hey, that's Wapo, man. Stay warm out there, Wap. Last call, and then we're going to get out of here. That's from the 719.
Here we go.
What's up, Kenny, Che? This is Hardcore Raider. It's the off season. Don't have too much to talk about. Kind of hit the chat a little bit late in the show, but I wasn't sure if you guys talked about the Mayock rumors and whatnot. If you guys had any insight on that, and then since we were talking about the Niners, man, I'm just curious, man.
Just to be clear, we have zero insight on anything. Just a lot of opinion.
Yeah, a lot of opinion.
And a lot of beer.
Yeah, a lot of chelas.
Give us your guys' hate list. Like, you know, like for me, it's Broncos, Chiefs, Patriots, Chargers are about tied, I'd say, for me. And then, like Steelers, Niners. But, you know, I want to know your guys' hate list for what teams you hate the most. So, Kenny, Che, give me your hate list. All right.
Okay.
Man,
okay.
Love you guys. Hardcore Raider out.
Okay.
All right, so.
Shout out Hardcore. In the chat.
Out.
He's in the chat right now. Shout out Hardcore.
Shout out. The show's doing really well.
Yeah.
Sorry I could not make it on last weekend. I will say this. I don't interact with Chiefs fans a lot. Broncos fans are absolutely insufferable. But at least we've gone back and forth with Denver, and we've made them our bitch more often than not, I feel like, in the recent past. You know, whether our team's good or bad, we've been in some good fights with Denver, and we've laid a 50 burger on them in the last decade.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a little earlier than that. The top of my hate list is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Above them, I would say in a bracket of their own is the Niners because of their fans, and I live in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And their fans are the worst. And their fans that were quiet through 8 weeks this season because they weren't sure either. Okay? So it's the Niners, it's the Chiefs, and then it's the Broncos. I don't think about the Chargers, okay, enough to hate them. I just don't give a shit. All right, I just don't care.
And neither does anybody else. Their fans don't give a shit either.
I put Phillip Rivers on that list
before the actual team.
Yeah, yeah, and
I like that.
You know, a lot of hatred's placed on the Patriots from Raider fans because of the Tuck rule. I gotta put the refs before the Patriots. The refs were the problem in that game.
I like that.
I'm tired of seeing the Patriots win,
but I think that's over.
Hot take: I never really hated them. I just got sick of them. Respect for Belichick.
That's fair.
I do.
That's fair.
He's the evil genius. You know, we're supposed to hate Darth Vader. We all love Darth Vader. He's kind of Darth Vader. I won't say I love him. Not at all. But I hate the refs before I hate the Patriots. And I think if you really look at it objectively, you see where my logic's at there.
Yeah. So
don't crucify me. But yeah, it'd be Niners, Chiefs, Broncos, Phillip Rivers, the referees. That's my hate list. Is that fair?
I like that. It's fucking fire, bro.
All right. All right.
That's
good.
fire.
As long as you like it, I'm cool.
That felt good, dog. That can't. I don't even know if I can come up with a better list than that, dog.
You can copy my list.
So this is what I would say.
And Cowboys honorable mention. Fuck the Cowboys. I have no reason as a Raider fan to hate the Cowboys. I just fucking hate the Cowboys, man.
This is what I would say, man. I'm gonna put the Chiefs and Niners neck and neck at number one. They're gonna be dual number ones.
Neck and neck. Mike Glenn's got something to say about that.
We'll trade that motherfucker to one of those guys' teams. Then maybe they take a little bit of a lead.
They got a neck up.
Oh, man. So, I'm going to put those. I equally hate the Chiefs and the Niners at this current moment. For a long time, I've hated the Niners more than anybody. And that's just because like you said, we live in the Bay Area.
Insufferable,
man. I can't stand Niner fans. I'm friends with some Niner fans, but they're actually decent.
Yeah,
but the majority of them can't stand them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are family members. That's right. I can't stand you.
Damn. You've never even talked about those family members, man.
No, they're distant.
Yeah, they are.
I just say.
Yeah, they are.
No, so none. Let me just say this: none on my immediate side of my mom's family. Okay, we're all Raider fans. Okay, so don't step in our fucking household with some bullshit. We'll fuck you up real quick. So neck and neck, number one, Chiefs, Niners. I'll put the Broncos at 2, just because, like you said, more so than anything, I can't stand their fucking orange color scheme, bro. Like that shit.
The FedEx color scheme,
cheesy, corny.
Yeah.
And then I just happen to know a dude that I play ball with, who for a moment in time had a fucking nacho cheese, a fucking Chrysler 300.
Oh, yeah. I know that color. I know what you're talking about.
Get the fuck out of here, dog. I can't believe you would put that horrible
cheese Chrysler.
Fucking yeah, bro. Why would you do that? Good luck selling that shit. You got to sell it to a fucking another Broncos fan. There's not a whole lot of them out here. But yeah, so let me put them at 2. At 3, who would I put, man? At 3, who would I put? Like you said, the Chargers at this point.
You know, it didn't make my list. I'll suggest the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm debating on the Steelers because
their fans are assholes.
Yeah, they are assholes, and I would put the Steelers on the list somewhere, but I don't know if they're 3. I like the Phillip Rivers take, but I think his time is done, so I don't think we don't really have to deal with Phillip Rivers bullshit anymore a whole lot. I'm gonna put the Patriots at 3, dog.
Okay.
And I know you made a great point.
No, it covers me though. If you say that, covers me.
You made a great point. You made a great point about the refs, but it's been fuck the Patriots since the Tuck rule.
Fair.
And I will stay that way until I know for sure they're dead. Okay, so right now we're all kind of happy that what happened. The Titans knocked them out of the playoffs, and now their shit looks like it's in shambles. But I won't rest on I hate the Patriots until they rest. You know what I'm saying? So
like
when they're dead, then my hate for them will rest too.
Okay.
Not to mention that my lady's stepfather is a fucking Patriots fan. So yeah, I want to see them come to the demise real quick.
Yeah, you do.
Real quick. I can't wait for that shit to flip around. I want a 180 real quick, bro. Just saying. At number 4, let's put the Steelers, dog. Yeah, fuck Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, big
fuck
time.
That guy. Fuck that guy. And we already know the history that we share with the Steelers. We already know immaculate reception and all that bullshit.
Yep.
And, fuck Marco Harris, bro. I wasn't even fucking born yet when that game was happening. But I was schooled up on that shit, and I'm like, that was not a catch.
Let's be fair. Here's a suggestion for your number 5. A team of recently that we root heavily against, Chicago Bears? Was that just too new, too short?
That's too new.
Okay.
Because
just
honestly,
throwing it out there. Honorable mention.
Because honestly, what do I have to hate about the Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
The fact that they got Khalil Mack on their team? No, I don't really I actually don't hate the fact that they have Khalil Mack on their team.
Throwing it out there.
They just spent a whole gang of cash on Khalil Mack. They have no choice but to roll with Trubisky for the foreseeable future. So I'm actually not that mad because I feel like they kind of fucked themselves. And thankfully we had their fucking number 1 pick for the last 2 seasons. I'm actually kind of happy. Thank you, Bears. Thank you. You guys helped us out.
Yeah.
I don't have no hate for the Bears. What do I have to hate about them, man? We don't play them enough either. Who would be my 5th, man? Shit. Andy Reid.
I like that.
Because Kool-Aid looking ass is fucking just getting on my goddamn nerves, Eddie Reed. I hate you.
Diabetes.
You, Wilford Brimley, you number 5. Okay? There we go.
You ready to do some shout outs?
Hey, let me just say this. If Marty Schottenheimer was still playing, he'd probably be number 2.
Oh, fuck Gunther Cunningham.
He'd probably be number 2, dog. I'm just saying. But yeah, shout out.
Shout out. Shout out to Mike Glennon. You need to check out from the neck up. Let's do some shout outs on Twitter.
Shout outs.
Shout out to Junior Kessler. Shout out to Little Lou 714. Shout out to Lamont. Big shout out to you. TD TSGT.
Is that Lamont from fucking Sanford and Son?
No, it's not.
You big dummy.
Shout out to Michael Clay about that action on Twitter. Shout out to Alex6, Alex5 on Twitter, or Alex V on Twitter. BJ Pratt, Free Mr. Clark, Rob Citruyo. That's a tough name.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough name to say. Shout out to She Is Paiute, loves Raiders. I don't know. Fuck Junebug. Shout out to you. C Raider 74. Shout out to Jose Garcia. Shout out to E30 Zach, Troy Schubert, Go Blue and Black. Shout out to Rock Raider 1013. Shout out to the fantasy football guru, who is a man that has been banned from Twitter several times. And he's back under a new banner. Dare I say his real name, Matt Fallon. Shout out to you. Shout out to It's a Hell 96. Shout out to Raider Ren, also at Lalo. Big Pedro 711. Shout out to Justin, J Bang 5234, Drewville 2, Luis Ray 87. Shout out to Jared J. Julian. Shout out to the Las Vegas Death Star, also known as Sin City Death Star. Shout out to at Thurnan Renfro, not affiliated with Hunter Renfro. He's just a fan. Shout out to, I already did that one. Let's go back to the top here. And, yeah, that's that. That's it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I got some IG shout outs.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Tovar Ernesto 6. Shout out to Jokers J14369. There's a lot of numbers, man. Just a suggestion to all you followers. Having like 15 fucking numbers after you're at, like,
probably, bro, it's the worst.
It's probably the worst way to go. So yeah, you start thinking about something creative. You know, come up with a cool. Maybe you got a cool nickname. Run with that, y'all. Run with that. Maybe Raiders at or underscore my nickname. Whatever. You know, maybe your family calls you Gordo, Raider Gordo. I like that. Don't put like 15, 42, 69, hut hike. Okay, I don't want all those numbers. This is kind of just a suggestion.
I run into that too.
Real quick,
in fact, I started skipping them on shout outs. I'm not transcribing.
It's too many
that
numbers,
shit.
bro.
I'm not doing it.
And I get it. Sometimes that's what social media just does naturally. They just throw a whole bunch of fucking numbers after your name.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to change that.
Yeah, finish the at, bro. Finish it out.
Get in there and change it,
Yeah.
dog. Shout out Nick Garcia 462. Okay, 3 numbers, not too bad. Okay. Shout out Bubba Bonilla. Shout out Northwest Chronic. Shout out to Oakland Bull. Shout out Loyal Raider for Life. And shout out to Matt K 908. All right. We appreciate the follows, y'all. We appreciate the follows, man. And I know we skipped out on a lot of the shout outs the last couple weeks. So for those of you who did add us and didn't get recent recognition, give us a little shout out, give us a little message, and whatever. We'll try to get to you guys because we definitely want to give you guys your props.
Yeah,
we appreciate all of y'all.
We missed a lot in the last few weeks.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Definitely hit us up. No Name wants to know what about his numbers because he's in the chat right now, and his name is No Name 001 Hey, you reminded me. First of all, shout out to you. Shout out to Neil Peart. That reminded me because the Rush 1-0-0-1-0-0-1. Neil Peart, man, passed away this last Tuesday. Lost a 3-year battle with brain cancer. It was actually a very long time to live with brain cancer. All of this after the adversity of watching, or not watching per se, but losing his wife and his daughter in a fire.
Damn,
just a lot of adversity in Peart's life. Neil, brother, I hope you find peace in the afterlife. I really do. As saddened as I am about this, I'm not a drummer. I'm a drum programmer, but my brother's been a drummer my whole life, and he's taught me a lot. And listening to Pert as a hip hop producer really challenged me to get out of a 4/4 format.
There you go.
Started producing like 16 bar drum loops and stuff because I was like, oh, my brother listens to Pert. I'm trying to impress my brother.
Yeah.
You know, and in a family full of traditional musicians, and I'm over here behind a computer. I was trying to do things different. And Pert was definitely a catalyst to that. I think I've seen you live like 5 times. And when I got the news, man, I definitely choked up, man. I don't really get like that with celebrity deaths. It was Pert. When MCA passed away from the Beastie Boys, I cried like a baby. I'm not going to lie. But Neil Peart, that hit me really, really, really hard. So shout out to you, and shout out to all the Rush fans. We had a nice little conversation the other day on Twitter. Yeah. So shout out to that whole Rush family. It's a thinking man's band. You can hate on Rush all you want. That's fine. But there is no denying the talent that's in that group. On YouTube, shout out to David Manwarren, Ray Maruoka. Shout out to Bryce Silver. Shout out to Game On Dude, Gabriel Mitz. And we appreciate the follows, man. This YouTube thing is starting to finally get some traction and grow. Shout out to everyone that was in the chat tonight. You guys definitely keep things interesting. Even we don't mention all the comments, but we do try to interact with you at least via text. And you guys keep this really cool. Having a live audience is definitely freshens things up for us here in the studio.
Man. Absolutely.
Big shout out to Michael Dammer and Mark Zamora who donated this week, and the donations in the chat from Pete and from Victoria.
Yeah.
We love you guys, man. Pete, I'm serious about that. Draft Guru, I'm going to be ringing your phone, so be ready for that this offseason. We love you guys. We will be back next week. Probably take Super Bowl weekend off, right?
I think that's fair.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Everyone's gonna-
especially if, like Kane said, if it's 2 motherfucking teams that we don't want to see there.
Well, y'all are going to be doing your Super Bowl parties and stuff, and I'm going to probably be in a food coma and all that. So, But we will see you next week, and the week after that, we hope, and then we'll be taking a break for Super Bowl weekend. So, but in the meantime, that's it for this week's show. Call in every week. 408-909-PJFF. You can call in at any time and leave a message to be played on air. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Make sure you download the official Pillaging app.
That's right.
A lot of podcasts challenge people. You want to know where to find the app, the podcast? Just download the app. It's all right there for you.
There you go.
And it is free. Shout out to DC4L Custom Tees. Shout out to Jocelyn Johnny. He started the show from the beginning, even though we were halfway through. That's how diehard he is, bro.
Yeah, man.
So shout out to you. Please feel free to donate. PayPal.me/PJ4F or donate right here in the chat window. Be sure to listen to our network partners, new to the crew, but not new to the game, Fan Club Blitz, featuring Splatterhead and Groby this last week. So and they got a whole crew of folks that rotate in their studio. So they're a lot of fun to listen to. Ladies of Darkness, Put on Waivers podcast. Dwayne brought back the Raiders. Was it the Raiders? I'm blanking right now on the spot.
Oh, damn.
Why am I blanking on his Raiders show? Dwayne brought back his All Raiders show. You guys have been asking for it. It's back. You know where to find them. Put on Waivers podcast.
Is it Raiders today?
The Raiders today.
Is it Raiders today?
Thank you.
I think it's Raiders today.
I wanted to say, I won't say it because I'm not going to give someone else a free plug. I was going to say another name that's close to that. That's not him, but never mind. Shout out to East Coast Nation, Monster Mash Cannon crew over there. The No Ledge podcast, come back. We miss you. Inebriation podcast. Again, if you like Fan Club Blitz, you like the Pillaging podcast, you like beer, you're going to love the Inebriation show. The Blackout podcast. Sean, where you at, dog? And the Crow's Nest, well, it's the off season, so we'll be back soon. I know you guys have been asking for it.
Hell yeah.
Crow's Nest will be back soon. We're figuring it out.
Hey, we're gonna work out the times. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out just because this man has been on our live feed the last few weeks consistently. Your boy Mojo likes to review beers too.
That's true.
So if you like the beer reviews, your boy Mojo, he's a beer connoisseur, man. He'll give you history about the breweries. I was tuned in. I was like, okay, all right, Mojo. Kicking in like history from 1857 and shit like that. I like it. Cool. So if you like those beer reviews, shout out to Mojo because he supports and we gotta support him too, man. And you, like you said, you dropped a beat for him, so
yeah,
give him a shout out.
I was talking to Beer King at work the other day.
Yeah.
He said that his next goal is to tour every brewery in California.
Okay.
I just left the room, bro. You're gonna fucking kill yourself, bro.
I mean, it's gonna take like maybe a fucking year to do.
He's not even gonna get out of Sonoma County, bro.
That's true, right?
He's gonna be in jail before he gets to Humboldt. I'm telling you, there's too many out there.
Yeah, there's too many fucking breweries, dog. You're gonna have to spread that out over a few years, dog. Just saying, spread it out over a few years.
Yeah, take it slow, bro.
Yeah, take it easy, dog.
Until next week, y'all, keep the wind in your sails and the rum in your mug. And Pillage on Raider Nation, this has been a production of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined as always
by your boy Chick.
We out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders.
Like a